Everybody. Hello and welcome back to another live stream. We are on a roll. This is 4 in a row. I'm either absent for 3 months or I'm making videos every day. There's no middle ground for me. All right, so today I thought we'd do one day on for video games, one day off. Movies, games, showing off pretty much the entire collection. Trying to get the wheels turning on the channel again, and then I have some ideas I want to bring to the channel, some videos I want to do, and all that good stuff. But for today, we are going to tackle one of these bookcases. I don't think I have it in me to do over 2 hours today. To be honest, I want to try to enjoy my day off. But I do want to go over basically this entire first shelf here, which... Again, I hand-built these shelves. This has close to 1,000 movies on it. I have a second one. I have a third one. And last but not least, I have my horror one right there. These two are the biggest, though. They house the vast majority of my Blu-ray collection, the vast majority of genres. We are going to start at the very top here. These are my box sets up here, and they are alphabetized. We'll cover these in another video a few days from now, or next week. And the way I have it, let's show you. I have it by genre, but I also have all these subgenres. I can always make more subgenres, because I get into very specific moods. So here you see Shaw Brothers, Japanese cinema. Down here we have crime thriller. This is where I'm going to end it. I'm going to cover the westerns and war films. And I'm going to leave the crime thriller for another day. And that continues on to over here. Goes into animation, gangster, heist, Disney animated. I even have a little prisons film section there. Comics animated, anime, and then sci-fi wraps around to over there. Then we have fantasy, Christmas, comedy, drama. Then we have biopic, sports drama. Musicals, documentary, horror. And that's where my horror starts, and the vast majority of the horror is in there. So this is where I do my reading, as you can tell, and cuddle up in my blankie watching a movie in the living room. Down here we have some of my consoles, some of the stuff I'm playing right now. And this is kind of a sneak peek into what I'm watching right now. Random stuff. So I watched Mulan for the first time last night. That was incredible. Obviously, I'm late to the party. Been wanting to watch this. Got some anime out here, some Hong Kong stuff. Some even South Korean, Chanwook Park here. Still need to see this one. And I just recently finished the book, The Man Who Was Thursday, and this seems to be one of the only film adaptations of it, so we're going to give that a shot. Guys ever see the anime RoboCop? It's awesome. And this I tried to watch the other night, but it didn't work. God damn it. Under here is a mess. We got like this World War II book, and we have Sarah Connor Chronicles, which I've been wanting to try to watch. Stimpy, some controllers. All right. There's a living room tour. And I know I'm starting this a little early. I've been getting home a little earlier, so I figure, screw it. Let's get things rolling. And I've got this because these are taller than I am. And there's my little bride up there. All right, so we're going to get started. We have this scenario again where I'm going to have my head taken clean off. Decapitation by fan. All right, let me know if that pulsating light, that subtle pulsating light bothers anybody, but we're going to get started. So first thing I have up here are actually a couple replacement cases just in case. No pun intended. Just in case I need them. All right, so the way I do it is so Eastwood, yeah, I can actually get this one in here. Do it by last name of the actor or director. All right, let me take a sip of water, and then we're gonna get rolling here. I always underestimate how much talking these live streams are. It's okay, I'm getting used to it though. All right, let's get it started, guys. First thing I want to say is anybody who's watching this, feel free to give the live stream or the archived video a thumbs up. It helps me pop up in, random live streams, things like that, people's channel feeds. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, just hit that thumbs up. and hit subscribe button if you want to see more like it. All right, guys, here we go. So, right up top, we have the Bourne trilogy. I finally have this nice little, contained box set here. I had them separately forever. We have Ace Ventura. This is a hard-to-find PAL version here. Hey, Lucy, thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it. Thanks for the thumbs up. We're just getting started here with my box sets. We're going to cover the action films and the comic book films, and I even have action stars here by name. It's my newest addition to the subgenres is the Liam Neeson section. So there you go. Blaxploitation, video games. So that's kind of what to look forward to. Ace Ventura, obviously two great films. We have the Alien franchise. I love this set, American Ninja 1 through 5. I believe there's a 5th American Ninja with Mark Dacascos. I think that's Mark Dacascos. But the 3 of these are directed by Sam Furstenberg, or at least 2 of them are. Yeah, the first 2 are directed by Sam Furstenberg. Canon classics. I love the first film. I just think it's so 80s cool. And the second film is really, really good too. Arguably better. The Austin Powers collection. These still hold up very, very well. Very funny movies. Very of their time, but hey. Back to the Future trilogy here. Nice and shiny. Best of the best. I've only seen the first 2 of these, but I love the first 2. They're kick-ass action movies with Eric Roberts. Martial arts-based action movies. 3 and 4 are directed by, what's the guy's name? Philip Ree. Takes over the directing for the 3rd and 4th film. And I hear they take a hit, but I hear they're still pretty fun. Bill and Ted. This has the first 2 films. I don't have the 3rd one. I wouldn't mind owning the 3rd one. It was pretty good. It was okay. We got the 3 movie Bad Boys collection, 2 being my favorite, then 1, then 3, and then 4. I'm not into Mike Lowry with Panic Attack Bad Boys. I don't get it. The Mel Brooks collection here, very nice set. 12 Chairs, Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, which is my favorite Mel Brooks. Silent Movie, High Anxiety, History of the World, To Be or Not to Be, Spaceballs, Robin Hood Men in Tights. And I guess this collection was too good to have Dracula Dead and Loving It on it. That would have really completed the set. I don't get it. Why would they leave that out? Maybe it's rights issues. This is a really nice looking set I picked up years ago at like a Big Lots or something for super cheap. This has all 3 of the big Frank Darabont movies from the 90s. Green Mile, The Majestic, and Shawshank Redemption. And I've seen both of the... Is The Majestic... Yeah, I'm not sure if The Majestic is from the 90s or early 2000s. Anyway, these are all great films. I actually haven't seen The Majestic since the 90s, since it came out, early 2000s, 90s, whatever it was. But obviously, Shawshank and Green Mile, and then The Mist, of course, by Frank Darabont, really understands and nails the Stephen King atmosphere. Die Hard collection here. It's got the only 4 films that exist in the series. There is not a 5th. Dirty Harry collection. I've actually only seen the first Dirty Harry, and there are 5 Dirty Harrys. This is a Clint Eastwood, almost like director's collection. Gran Torino, Letters for Iwo Jima, $1 Million Baby, Mystic River. All of his, a lot of his directed films here. Not everything he directed here, but a lot of them. And Unforgiven and Mystic River. I love both of those films quite a bit, especially Mystic River. There's something really brooding and ominous about that film. Tragic. Majestic is from 2002. Thank you for checking me on that. Yeah, I knew it was late 90s, early 2000s. I haven't seen it since then. This set here has Coogan's Bluff, 2 Meals for Sister Sarah, The Beguiled, Play Misty for Me, his first directed film. Joe Kidd, High Plains Drifter, Breezy, and the Eager Sanction. Fast and the Furious 7 movie collection. I like about half of these movies. The other half are schlocky fun. But I think about half of them are actually good films. Chase/heist/action films. I love this Lou Ferrigno collection. You guys want to laugh? Get a few friends and some illicit substances and have a good night watching some of these cheese fests. Ghostbusters 1 and 2. Godfather collection, of course. Halo. I've never seen any of these movies, but I picked this up for dirt cheap once, and it's like 8 Halo movies or something. I don't even know. Halo Legends, Halo Forward Until Dawn, Halo Nightfall, Halo The Fall of Reach. So there you go. This set is one I've had for a long time, and I got it before it got absolutely ridiculously out of print and hard to find. Don't know what the hell this goes for these days. Probably a couple hundred at least, few hundred. There's a look at the films that this has on it. So Scream Factory and other companies would end up releasing a lot of these, but I'm okay. I'm good. These look just fine to me. I don't need all the special bells and whistles and everything. I just want the films, and this really puts a lot of them together in a nice package. And the Quatermass Experiment actually has the sequel as well. Was it X the Unknown or something like that? I think it's in standard, but still. I wish I had the other Harryhausen sets like this. These are beautiful, put out by Indicator. We have Mysterious Island, probably my favorite Harryhausen film. I just love that film. I love Jason and the Argonauts and Clash, but what's up, Gungshi? Thanks for checking in. I appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. We have First Men in the Moon, Jason and the Argonauts, and Mysterious Island. I love all three of these films. I think the weakest is First Men in the Moon. But Jason and the Argonauts, classic. Skeleton fight, obviously, is miraculous in terms of cinema. Mysterious Island, though, is my favorite. I just think it's the most complete movie. I like it quite a bit. And I love Jules Verne. I love Vernian flicks. Audrey Hepburn collection. I remember I was going to sell this, and then it was worth like $10, and I was like, well, I might as well keep it around. I've never seen any Hepburn films. Might not be my cup of tea. But Breakfast at Tiffany's Sabrina Funny Face, I'll give her a shot at some point. She's beautiful, at least. Harry Potter complete 8-film collection. This I got from my buddy Michael because I preferred this over the American release. This is a PAL release here. I think it's very sharp looking. I like it quite a bit, and the artwork there, I like it. We've got one of my prized possessions. The Bond 55 decades, 50th anniversary collection. This houses everything up to Skyfall, which is fine by me because the last couple Bond movies were not my cup of tea, increasingly so, especially No Time to Die. I thought that was a bit of a disgrace, if I'm being honest, to Bond fans. Ugh. This set is really out of print and hard to find. Last time I checked, it's also very dusty. But this is Werner Herzog, The Collection, put out by Shout. Dwarf Started Small, Land of Silence and Darkness, Fata Morgana I've seen. Beautiful documentary, tragic and terrible, terrifying documentary, but beautiful in its own, Grecian way. What's up, Jolly Good? Thanks for stopping on back. We've got Aguirre, The Wrath of God, one of the great films of all time. Such a commentary on humanity and the madness of the creature that is human. The human. Enigma of Caspar Hauser, Heart of Glass, Strozek, Wojciech, Nosferatu. Not my favorite version of Nosferatu, but a damn good one. Fitzcarraldo, I still haven't seen. That's one of his big films. Ballad of the Little Soldier, Where the Green Ants Dream, Cobra Verde, Lessons of Darkness, Little D. Turner Needs to Fly, and My Best Fiend. I've only seen 5 or 6 Herzog films, most of which aren't on this collection, actually. We've got the Alfred Hitchcock collection here, which is a tremendous set. I'm not going to go through all the films in it, but it's got everything from Psycho to Notorious, or not Notorious, to Topaz, to North by Northwest, all the classics, Trouble with Harry. I love it. I love that set. Despite not being an absolute Hitchcock fanatic, I respect and I understand and recognize the importance of him as a filmmaker. But I always thought that, man, if he made films throughout the 70s and 80s, I don't know, it would have been a different kind of thing. The Hobbit, I recently picked this up after getting rid of my my single special editions. This has the entire motion picture trilogy, extended editions, which is what I prefer. So I have that and my Lord of the Rings there. Hotel Transylvania, I've only seen the first one. I do like it. These interest me because of Genndy Tartakovsky, the guy who did Samurai Jack and Primal, some great animated stuff. Indiana Jones, obviously, 1 through 4 there. I don't really need Dial of Destiny. I'm good. Not a fan of that one. Jack Ryan, 5-film collection. Hunt for Red October, Patriot Games, Sum of All Fears, Clear and Present Danger, Jack Ryan. This is a really cool set. Not many people know exist. Yes, Dexter's Lab as well. Never really got into that one, to be fair. He also did the Clone Wars, Star Wars Clone Wars animated thingamajig. But yeah, I like his more... Didn't he do Powerpuff Girls too? I like Powerpuff Girls. I don't know. I never got into Dexter when I was a kid, for whatever reason. But this is a cool set where Jack Ryan's played by four different people here. four different Jack Ryan portrayals, 5 movies. Harrison Ford is still the best Jack Ryan, and those 2 films, Clear and Present Danger and Patriot Games, super underrated political thrillers. I love. Karate Kid 1 through 3. I wish this had 4, but it doesn't. These are all 4Ks. Very nice artwork there. Kubrick. We've got Lolita 2001, Clockwork Orange, Barry Lyndon, Shining, Full Metal Jacket, Eyes Wide Shut. It's missing a few, but I have those separate. Fritz Lang. We have a Kino collection here. Metropolis, which I've yet to see. I know, it's crazy. Die Nibelungen, which I have seen, is brilliant. Spies, Dr. Mabuse, The Gambler, Destiny, The Spiders, Woman in the Moon, Four Around the Woman, Harakiri, The Wandering Shadow, and The Plague of Florence. We've got Lethal Weapon 1 through 4, Jet Li collection. This has The Legend, Fist of Legend, and Tai Chi Master. 3 classic 90s Jet Li films here, all of which are absolutely fantastic. One directed by Gordon Chan, Corey Yin directed another, and Yinwo Ping. Incredible stuff. My favorite probably being Fist of Legend. I think that's one of the best Hong Kong movies of all time. Legend's damn good too. I love The Legend. And its sequel. Here we have, I sold off a bunch of the DVDs I owned and picked this up when it came out for virtually nothing. This one has Shikoku, Isora, Inugami, St. John's Wort, Carved, Persona, and Noroi the Curse. I've seen Carved, the slit-mouthed woman, which is decent, and Noroi the Curse, which I think is very good. Maybe a little overrated. I think people overrate it a tad, but I do need to rewatch it, and I have never seen it on Blu-ray, so hey man, anytime Arrow puts out Japanese horror, certainly interesting to me. Lord of the Rings, I've had this forever. Watch those all the time. Mad Max Anthology, 1 through Mad Max through Fury Road, so 4 films. It has some nice kind of, what do they call it, like postcard art thingies, majiggies? I don't know what to call them. Liners? I don't know. Magnificent 7 collection. Not many people know that Magnificent 7 actually had 3 sequels. Yes, Return of the Magnificent 7, Guns of the Magnificent 7, and The Magnificent 7 Ride. I've only seen the first one. Not my favorite version of the 7 Samurai, but I still think it's great. Finally get to say hi. Sorry I missed that. It's been 5 years. Wow. Thank you for sticking with the channel. I appreciate it. Thank you, Len. Also, Adam Sandler did the only animated Christmas movie. Well, yeah, it's like Christmas Hanukkah movie. Holiday movie, right? I think. You're talking about 8 Crazy Nights, or... That was a good one. I know what you're talking about. Man with No Name trilogy. I've had this for a very long time. This was one of the first Blu-ray sets I remember getting. Obviously, it has Fistful of Dollars, a few dollars more, and The Good, Bad, and the Ugly. I like them increasingly. I think Fistful of Dollars is great. A few dollars more is damn near perfect. Good, Bad, and the Ugly is perfect. Yes. That's right. 8 Crazy Nights. Marx Brothers, Silver Screen Collection, The Coconuts, Animal Crackers, which is a classic, and I think is hilarious. Monkey Business, Horse Feathers, and Duck Soup, another classic. I'm more of a Marx Brothers guy than I am a Three Stooges guy. I think Groucho was an absolute genius, and all the other brothers were fantastic too. Ultimate Matrix Collection, I still have this one on Blu-ray because it has the Animatrix. I don't think any other sets really include that. We've got Steve McQueen here, The Great Escape, Magnificent 7, Thomas Crown Affair, and The Sand Pebbles. I've seen only The Magnificent 7. I still haven't seen Great Escape. I know, crazy. I've seen 4,000 films, but not some of the great classics. All right, we got Meet the Parents, the whole Fokker collection. I like the first one quite a bit. Second one's okay. Third one, rewatched this trilogy recently with my buddy Michael. What's up, Michael, if you're watching? And the first one is a classic. The second one is a bit of a rough patch for the series. It's like heavily reliant on product placement and rubbery CG, and takes some weird deviations from the first film. But they all bring it all back. Sonnenfeld brings it back for the third film. Really nails the pathos and adds depth to the franchise, to the trilogy, that really makes this trilogy stand out, or at least the first and third films. Very poignant ending. Kind of beautiful. I cried. But I'm easy when it comes to movies. All right, so here we go. First shelf down. It only took 20 minutes. Oh my goodness, I'm so slow at this. Yes, Men in Black is definitely worth watching. 1 and 3, I would say. But yeah, watch the whole trilogy. Judge it for yourself. Ben-Hur, 10 Commandments, Da Vinci Code, extended editions. Those are like 3 hours long. I think these films are okay. They're a little dry, boring. Cassandra Crossing on Blu-ray, which is pretty sweet. One of the early disaster flicks. Directed by George Cosmatos, actually, who did Tombstone. El Mariachi and Desperado. Face Off, Snake Eyes. This one's cool. Final Option, very technical political thriller action movie. Last Man Standing and Last Boy Scout, two Bruce Willis last movies. We'll do the ones on top real quick. Blue Thunder, Damage, Deadlands, Gone in 60 Seconds. That's the original. Bushwick, I just picked that up. I've wanted to see that. Fugitive. Blood Money, Air America, American Ultra. I need to give this another shot. I didn't like it the first time. Yeah, the tartan stuff, I got to be honest, 90% of what you see in any collection that I show off, I got from yard sailing or flea markets or Goodwills. I've been doing Goodwills for 20 years, 15 to 20 years. I mean, it's crazy, but that's true. Most of the stuff I got is $1. And that's why I made a business out of it. All right. We've got, I love this little collection here. Blind Fury. Awesome. Rutger Hauer. That's kind of based on Zatoichi, the Japanese franchise. This is the American answer to that. Silent Rage, the only Chuck Norris film that falls into the kind of horror category. I talked about this on the channel years ago. I did a Chuck Norris retrospective with my buddy Ben. We've got White Line Fever. This is a cocaine-infused late 70s action film. We've got, let's see, Rock and Roller, Losers. I've never seen that one. Rock and Roller. I've got to say it like that because it's like rock and roller, you know? And that's how they all talk in the movie anyway. It's like a Cockney accent. Shoot 'em Up. Clive Owen. This is a super underrated Looney Tunes-inspired action flick, which is totally absurd and does not take itself seriously. Way over-the-top performances by everybody involved, including Paul Giamatti. Monica Bellucci is fantastic. Thanks, Len. I appreciate it. It'll be archived. I appreciate the kind words and for sticking with me. But this is super underrated. It's great. There's even an action sequence that takes place while Monica Bellucci and Clive Owen have sex. So there you go. We've got Speed, Broken Arrow, and Entrapment. I still haven't seen Entrapment, but I hear good things about it. This is a kind of a unique one here. It's got Blitz, I See You, which is hard to find on Blu-ray. I think it got a release recently, though. Van Damme in the Ringo Lam prison movie, In Hell, when Ringo Lam was making American flicks. They weren't as good as his Hong Kong, but hey, that's usually what happens. Dolph Lundgren, Direct Contact, which I actually own twice. I guess I own this for Command Performance, which is kind of his die-hard flick during a concert. It's pretty good. Not the biggest Dolph Lundgren fan. In fact, he doesn't even have a subsection. 12 Rounds movies. Some of these are pretty good. Some of them are pretty bad. 48 Hours. We've got Adventures of Robin Hood, classic Errol Flynn Robin Hood movie. Beautiful Technicolor. It's a gorgeous film. African Queen. Love this one. My first bogey film back in the day. My mom showed me. Air Force One. Get off my plane. Apocalypto. I just rewatched this. This is the fucking fantastic Mel Gibson directed Mayan action movie that takes place on the cusp of them being conquered by the Spanish. Very portentous film, a great action adventure story. It's fantastic storytelling. Arlington Road, Armored, Assassin's Bullet. This is actually an Isaac Florentine film that I've yet to see. I hear this is not one of his best. It's a controversial film here I haven't seen. It's a Walter Hill movie. Atomic Blonde, classic. Well, classic maybe is a strong word, but Robin Hood guy looks familiar. Was it from a Bugs Bunny cartoon? Errol Flynn? Yeah, yes, Errol Flynn. I'm pretty sure his likeness was used, or his voice or something in old Looney Tunes. It's all WB, right? So, it's an incestuous relationship, I suppose. The Stranger, Hunt to Kill. This is a Steve Austin 4 movie fucking collection. This was the guys who did, what's it called, John Wick, before they did John Wick. This is a decent movie. The rest of them are but it's a cool steelbook. And I love Stone Cold. Love WB. Oh yeah, me too. Anybody remember this one based on the old show? This is a movie that came out in like the late 90s based on like a 60s show that nobody remembered. Sorry, older folks that do remember. Baby Driver, really awesome Edgar Wright movie. Backdraft, Beverly Hills Cop, Boondock Saints movies. Here's the other two Bourne movies. Got a lot of these all over the place. These are Disney Club exclusives, which I've talked about on the channel before. I got all these virtually nothing. A lot of them are hard to find now because they closed the store down. Bunraku. Guys, check out this movie. This movie's super unique. Josh Hartnett. It's a very heavily stylized action movie that combines sort of musical theater with action. It's not a musical, but it almost is set up like the action set pieces are set up like, I can't even explain it. It's nuts. It's in a future where guns are outlawed, if I remember correctly. It's been quite some time, but such a cool fucking movie that nobody talks about. Blue Streak, classic. Cannonball Run, Castaway. Still need to see this Frankenheimer film with Scott Glenn and Toshiro Mifune from Seven Samurai. Akira Kurosawa. We have Luc Besson penned Olivier Megaton movie here that I haven't seen. Oh, I'm getting all fucked up. There we go. Condemned, another mediocre Stone Cold movie. Here's a movie I haven't even opened. This is Sam Peckinpah. I love, what's her name, Ally McGraw. She's always great with her little white girl fro there. And Chris Christopherson, rest in peace. This is supposed to be a really good movie. We've got Cop Shop. I thought this one was pretty good. It's worth another viewing. Yes, I did buy the 4K in a thrift store video. You got it. Yep, you got it. Count of Monte Cristo. I love this version of Count of Monte Cristo. It's fantastic. Kino Lorber bought 20th Century. Wait, Kino Lorber bought 20th Century and MGM? Or do you mean 20th Century? Can you rephrase that? Yeah, I'm not sure. I think Kino's still an independent distributor, no? Cutthroat Island, I really love this film. This is, well, I don't love it. I'm nostalgic for it. I think it's a good film, underrated. Just some bad casting really plagues this one, but it's Rennie Harlan in the mid-90s. He was making some fun flicks. And growing up in the 90s, this was the only pirate movie that I could call my own, and I still enjoy it. You guys want to see an incredibly ahead of its time serial here? This is a really good old film serial from the 30s. 39, technically. 12th chapter, I think. Got some weird ones here. Day of Wrath with Christopher Lambert. Days of Thunder, Tony Scott film I haven't seen. Deadly Prey, one of the worst action movies I've ever seen. Deliverance, one of the best action movies I've ever seen. Drive, especially from the 90s. This one, Hollywood ripped off. Hollywood and Brett Ratner ripped off to create Rush Hour. And they did it with a lot more success. This is arguably a better action movie, though. Better overall, I'm not sure, but definitely a better action movie. Driven, another Rennie Harlan movie at the point where he started to downturn, in my opinion. But I haven't seen Driven, I gotta be honest. Drive Angry, that's a great one. We have a nice Easy Rider digibook here. Okay, gotcha, jolly good. The Edge, that's a good one. It's like an Indiana Jones ripoff that I got from the fucking Dollar Tree at some point. Emerald Forest, got a few kinos here. Emerald Forest is a great John Boorman flick about a boy who's left in the woods and is raised by a hunter-gatherer tribe. Enter the Ninja and Revenge of the Ninja 2, classic ninja films. I also have Ninja 3 Domination here. These are all fantastic. This one's directed by Furstenberg. And this one is actually directed by one of the owners of Canon. So this is like a Canon film through and through. And then which one? Actually, Furstenberg did Revenge and Ninja 3. They get crazier and crazier, but the peak is Revenge. One of the best action flicks of the 80s, one of the best ninja flicks ever made, and it has a little boy who kicks the same amount of ass as Sho Kosugi and Kane Kosugi. That's his son. Yep, he's a little boy and he kicks ass. It's great. The Expendables trilogy, I think this series gets worse and worse, but I do respect its novelty. The Exterminator, awesome flick that I haven't opened up on Blu-ray. I don't know what this is. Eye for an Eye, The Blind Swordsman. I think this should probably be Yan Ming. This should be in my Hong Kong section. Put it down there. We've got Fast and Furious 8, 9. I don't have 10. Thought I did. Hobbs and Shaw, which is my least favorite, probably. Fury. What's this? Isn't this Vietnamese or... Yeah, Vietnamese. I don't have a Vietnamese movie section, admittedly. Don't think I have enough of those. Okay. Moving down. We've got a pretty beat-up version of Flight of the Intruder. It was all messed up, but I kind of got it to look somewhat presentable. Not the easiest Blu-ray to find. The package, here we have an Andrew Davis film, the guy who did The Fugitive. This is years before The Fugitive, a few years. But a pretty good action thriller. Not bad at all. With a good cast, Tommy Lee Jones and Gene Hackman. So, can't go wrong with that. Hidalgo, Haywire, badass Gina Carano action flick directed by Steven Soderbergh. Legend of Billie Jean. I know there's some fans of this film out there, especially in my audience. Legend of Billie Jean is a really interesting little fun adventure flick with a pretty hot lead character there in Helen Slater. Christian Slater is also in this. Are they related? I guess so. Peter Coyote. A fun and forgotten little coming-of-age 80s adventure classic. Mandrill, Treasure Island there. The first, I believe Treasure Island is the first Disney live-action film, and this is a classic. I grew up renting this. I love that film, and I love the book. Love the book even more. Rage of Honor. This is an American-produced and directed ninja film. There were a plethora of these during the 80s. This is another Sho Kosugi film. He did, 6 or 7 ninja films in the 80s, and all of them are definitely worth watching. Rage of Honor is a really good one, though. This and Revenge of the Ninja. All right, we got the G.I. Joe films, which, they're okay. We've got Nicolas Cage's... this one has an incredible action sequence where it's got, the ninjas on the cliffside. Yeah, that scene up there is actually amazing. Really good action set piece. Yeah, Mill Creek, that's right. Yeah, they're a cheaper company, but they put some good stuff out, right? We have The Great Race. Let's see, some of these I haven't seen. Hard Rain. A nice little underrated late 90s Die Hard ripoff about a town which is besieged by a flood, and terrorists are, robbing banks, wreaking havoc, and Morgan Freeman is the bad guy. Very good villain. Christian Slater is our John McClane-like character. Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man. My dad loved this movie. I love its subtle, sort of futuristic intonations. It's got a bit of a sci-fi edge to it, but it's got a very working man, kind of blue-collar-like plot, which I really like. Here's the guy who was supposed to be, or could have been Indiana Jones, Tom Selleck, doing his own sort of Indiana Jones-like film. This was actually put out by Fortune Star, which is a little weird. Usually they put out Chinese films, Hong Kong films, but glad to have that on Blu-ray. Hitman's Bodyguard I thought was okay. Here's the sequel, which I hear is not okay. Into the Wild, the American Blu-ray of this is ridiculous, so I have the PAL version. I had the American one, but I sold it. Make some money. Jack Hunter, this is like a Dollar Tree. Hey, what's going on? Thank you for stopping in. It's like a Dollar Tree Indiana Jones rip-off trilogy. I'm actually pretty curious. At some point, this one was hard to find. It was kind of sought after for whatever reason. John Wick Un, Deux, Trois. I need the 4th one. My favorite is 2. I love all of them. All of them are damn near close to masterpieces in terms of action flicks. Kickboxer Retaliation. I don't have these in my Van Damme collection because Van Damme's more of a side character, from what I understand in these. Kingsman: The Secret Service. A very good movie. I think holds up well. Oh yeah, the action stuff. Yeah, I've got a few more rows of it. I have it all divvied up, as you'll see. Sorry, I just lost a shit ton of lighting there. Okay, thanks, son. Beach. We've got Knight Riders, George A. Romero, one of his non-horror flicks here. Love Kickboxer 2 by Pyun. Oh yeah, Pyun. Can't go wrong with Pyun. Lawrence of Arabia, still haven't seen. I know. Travesty. Sorry. There we are. Fix that. I don't think I need this. What's up, Brandon Chow? Thanks for stopping in. We're about, I don't know, halfway through the action movies. We're going to cover this entire bookcase today. Going beat by beat. Not talking about everything, but a lot. You know me. Nice 4K of Leon, the Professional. I think this film is a damn near masterpiece. A lot of people in the modern age find it strange, the relationship between the young girl and the older man. I get it. I see. I know what you're saying. Favorite action film of all time. I'd really have to think about that. Hard Boiled. You know? Hard Boiled. Certainly one of the best action films of all time. 8 Diagram Pole Fighter. The John Wick series. Fury Road is up there, despite me not loving what they do with Max's character in that one. But, yeah, I think the relationship works in this. I think it's realistic. I think there are situations where young women look up to older men in, what could be perceived as a weird way. And, Leon pushes her away, when she tries to advance on him. And there's a deleted scene that is a little awkward. I admit, I get it. The Luc Besson's a bit of a creep himself. I get it. But hey. Killer and Hard Target. Yeah, no, I totally get it. I'm more of a hard-boiled kind of guy. I love The Killer, though. I think they're both masterpieces, and I think Hard Target's a damn near masterpiece. So you're in good company. Rennie Harlan here, The Long Kiss Goodnight. Sam Jack, Gina Davis classic. Lord of the Flies, the 90s version, I want to say. Yep, 90. Watched this in school. That scarred me. Another underrated Josh Hartnett action movie here, done in the Pulp Fiction sort of style, non-linear storytelling, twisty. It's very, very, very good, very violent, quirky, funny. This is a really underrated crime film, Lucky Number 11. One of the last great Bruce Willis performances. Machete and Machete Kills. Man from U.N.C.L.E., I think this one's okay. An okay Guy Ritchie mainstream film. Man with Iron Fists, I really want to love this movie, but I just like it. I think it's okay. Am I a cliffhanger fan? Absolutely, we'll get there. We'll talk about that. Have you seen Dead Heat from '88? Have I seen it? Tell me, have you seen Dead Heat? There you go. Yes, I have. I'm very nostalgic for Dead Heat. I love that movie. Grew up watching that one, renting it. Love it. It's fantastic. All right, next up we have Man in the Iron Mask. The Man in the Iron Mask. Oh, wrong franchise. This is a classic, though. I love this movie. I think it's great. I'm a big fan of any of the Dumas interpretations, film interpretations. We've got The Marine 1 through 4. 3, 4, and 5 are definitely worth watching. Marine 2 is okay. The worst one, in fact, is ironically the first. This is almost unwatchable. And you know who directed it? Oh, 12 Rounds was directed by Rennie Harlan, which I fucking hate that movie, so I got rid of the first one. Another John Cena shit show. We have Mark of Zorro here. All right, what's going on here with the lights? Sorry, guys. Okay. Just don't want anybody to have fucking seizures. Very inconsistent lighting. I apologize. All right. Next up, I did say John Cena. Yes, a guy who has become a pretty good actor now, but had a hard time finding decent movies back in when he was starting to break out. Okay, I found the culprit. We're turning that light off because it keeps flashing and giving me seizures. Okay, back to the action here. Mask of Zorro and Legend of Zorro. Martin Campbell directs the first one and the second one. Knocks it out of the park in the first one, really brings an old superhero back to life and does it with flair and culture and style. Mask of Zorro is awesome. Legend of Zorro, I admittedly haven't seen since it came out, so I do need to rewatch it, but everybody says it's not quite as good. One of the most underrated films, in my opinion, possibly of all time, but definitely of the 80s. This is one of the best action comedies ever. Very subtle and poignant Robert De Niro performance, who plays a character that has scenes that give the character so much depth and pathos that you really, really feel for the main character's plight. There's a scene in the middle of this film where he goes home to see his ex-wife and to meet up to ask for money. And to meet up to see he sees his daughter and it's just such an emotional scene about a father who wasn't there, and trying to reconcile that. And it's just a powerful movie. It's funny. It's got incredibly cool action, underrated action in my opinion. And Charles Grodin and Robert De Niro's chemistry is unmatched. This is a fantastic Martin Brest film. I'm glad to have it on Blu-ray finally. The Mission, another great underrated Robert De Niro performance here as like a Spanish conquistador type of dude, if I remember correctly, about man of the sword, man of the cloth, shield South American Indian tribe from the brutal subjugation. Yeah, so it's like a anti-colonialism kind of flick, and it's very effective, very good performances across the board. Mulan, this is a weird one for me to have, but I picked it up for $1 at Goodwill. Just because I love Hong Kong. I know this isn't a Hong Kong film. I don't know if I'm gonna watch it, but I did just watch the original animated film last night for the first time. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Is this worth watching as a fan of Hong Kong cinema, or is it just a disgrace to Hong Kong cinema? The classic Mutiny on the Bounty from the 30s. This is Charles Lawton and Clark Gable. This is a fantastic version of Mutiny on the Bounty. I actually have this one too, which is the Marlon Brando one. Another good one. They're making more Disney live-action movies based off the... Yeah. Oh, boy. I don't know who's excited for that, but hey. I thought they were stopping those because they were not making the money, but now other studios are following suit. We have, like, the How to Train Your Dragon thing coming out. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I was asking if Mulan paid homage to Hong Kong cinema in a respectful way, or if it was more of a disgrace to Hong Kong cinema, because it's an American wuxia, right? That's what it looks like they're going for. I don't know. If anybody could recommend this, please do. If not, I might actually extricate this from the collection. National Treasure 1 and 2, gotcha. No problem. I hear you. Well, good reviews don't really mean too much to me. I like to form my own opinion. I know that's trite, but I mean it. I've always thought that way. I grew up in an era before mainstream reviews and things like that. I grew up in the era of Roger and Ebert. So it's like two guys' opinions. But I never took people's opinions about art very seriously, frankly. I've always kind of thought for myself in that realm. But National Treasure 2, that's why I have so many opinions that don't align with anybody else. National Treasure 1 and 2. Classic films. I wish this got a third at the time, but I think it's too little too late now, despite them still trying to make one. These are modern-day indie films, in my opinion, and they're real good. They're real fun, rollicking sort of adventures. Never Say Never Again, the lone Bond movie that wasn't made by the same studio. This is technically a remake of Thunderball, and it's directed by the director of Empire Strikes Back, Irvin Kershner. I'm almost blanked on his name. The Negotiator. Favorite Bond films? GoldenEye is my number one. Goldfinger. Skyfall. The World Is Not Enough. I'm an apologist for. I think it's fantastic. I have weird opinion. I love Moonraker. I love Diamonds Are Free. I love I love all of them for different reasons. It's kind of like how I feel about Gojira, Godzilla. I like them all for different reasons. Each decade gives you a different flavor of the same thing, and it's great to have that many years of franchise. Before Sam Jack was hired for every movie to yell and curse, at the screen and never play a character again. I swear to God, Sam Jack has not played a character in 20 years. But this is back in the 90s when he did play characters. And great movie with Kevin Spacey and Sam Jack. Very tense political thriller. Sam Jack has rarely been better. Have I seen all the Godzilla films? I've seen all of them except for the 4 Mechagodzilla films. I know it's a little weird, but I'm kind of savoring those. I'm going to watch them all at some point. Also, he did The Incredibles. Who did The Incredibles? Oh, Sam Jack. Yeah, he's great as, what's his name? The Freeze guy, right? GMK. Giant Monster. Oh, wait. Final Wars. Oh, no, absolutely. I'm a fan of all those. Giant Monsters, All Out Attack. My favorite is probably Final Wars just because it's like a wet dream for Godzilla fans. Frozone, thank you. Awesome. Incredibles is one of my favorite movies of all time. I think it's brilliant. Brad Bird, again, extricated from the Pixar roster for whatever fucking reason, because he had one bomb in Tomorrowland. I think Brad Bird is one of the great filmmakers whose career was cut short because of the changing tide of Disney's direction, which obviously I'm not a fan of, and I think a lot of film fans aren't really fans of. But now they're calling him back because they're losing money, and they want him to do the new Incredibles. So there you go. My favorite Godzilla films are the original Shin Godzilla. Yeah, I mean, you're spot on. I think -1 is up there. The original Shin Gojira, Giant Monsters, All Out Attack, Final Wars, Destoroyah. I mean, they're all great. I love all of them. What can I say? All right. Just in case you guys needed to see my face. Trying to make it more dynamic. No Escape. Nice little military coup political thriller here with my boy Pierce. I love Pierce. No Time to Die. There's probably my least favorite Bond film. I could honestly say this has incredible action, but I think the story and what they do with the characters rather disgraceful. I feel the same way about this as I do about what they did to Luke in Star Wars. I think it was a middle finger to the fans. I think it was whiny, spoiled young writers who had way too much control over the production of these movies and, I don't know, killed off our heroes in various ways. And I'm pretty confused as to why. I know I just spoiled this movie, but I don't think you kill off fictional heroes. I think that doesn't make any sense. It goes against the ethos of these franchises. These characters don't die. It could be assumed that they die when the character is changed over. I know there's that sort of that theory that Bond is actually just a name and anybody could step into the role of Bond. Sure. But I just think, I think the plot to this one was kind of a disgrace to people who are true fans of Bond. That's just my opinion, That's a good point. He did kill off Godzilla. But, yeah, okay, touche. Gojira is a little, let's say, I don't know. He's not dead. Hasn't he died a few times, Gojira? Or he's at least been beaten. He always comes back. And I guess the same will be said for Bond. He'll always come back. But, there's been talk about making Bond like a female character. I don't think that makes any sense. I'm all for, I don't know, an Indian English Bond or like a black English Bond. Keep him English. I don't care, what race he is, but don't change it, to his gender. That doesn't make sense. Do your own movie. No Time to Die suffered a bit from pacing problems and lackluster villain. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Giant Claw, best social drama ever. Yeah, I love Giant Claw. Isn't it great? Nobody, another film that a lot of people loved. Oh, Casino Royale. Yeah, it's a fantastic one. Skyfall and Casino Royale are where it's at for the Craig movies, I agree. Quantum of Solace, Spectre, and No Time to Die are pretty weak in my book. Including this one. This is a pretty weak movie in my opinion. I do want to give it another shot because the sequel's coming out, but I was not too impressed with Nobody. Maybe I missed what it was trying to do. One of the more underrated and fun action trilogies of the last 20 years. Maybe the only action trilogy aside from this and John Wick that we've gotten. But I'm a big Gerard Butler fan. John Wick Light, hell yeah. That's basically these. These are more like canon-style, ridiculous, over-the-top action films with stupid one-liners. John Wick is the culmination of all the years of Hong Kong cinema, and it's very slick and very different. Farty, I hope I haven't missed much. No, we're just getting started. You know me, I talk forever. We still got a lot to go. But I like this trilogy quite a bit. I know I got to see Den of Thieves too. I do have the first one. I like the first one quite a bit. I thought it was damn good. We've got Pain and Gain, an underrated little Michael Bay flick here. Very satirical, in my opinion. Is the Miami Vice to Den of Thieves. Okay, cool. Sweet, that sounds good. We've got Peacemaker, underrated George Clooney action device from the late 80s here. I talk too much too. Yeah, it's one of my curses and gifts. Point of No Return. This is a remake of La Femme Nikita. Pompeii. I love me some Paul W. Sanderson big budget B movies, which he does better than anybody. One of the best action films of the 70s. Lee Marvin, Gene Hackman, Sissy Spacek, Prime Cut, awesome. Obviously, The Raid, two of the best action flicks ever made. Rapid Fire, awesome. Early 90s. Dwight H. Little directed. Brandon Lee actioner, 92. Such a phenomenal action flick. Thank you. I appreciate that. I was thinking about doing a podcast. I don't know. I don't know what would be the best. So that's why I'm doing all these, to try to hopefully figure out what would work best for me. I like the idea of a podcast that has different segments. I want to talk about news, maybe talk about new movies that are coming out. I want to get into the weeds of where I think cinema is going, because I have a lot to say about the current state of cinema, and I want to speak up about it, because I think Hollywood is in a lot of trouble, just like the big video game industry. And I want to do my part to, I don't know, talk about what I think is going on, and there's a lot of not great stuff going on in cinema. So, but anyway, thank you. Replacement Killers. This is Antoine, what was it? Fuqua, yeah, that's right. Red Scorpion. Synapse put this out. The best Dolph Lundgren film, in my opinion. I love this flick. It's a badass, jingoistic, over-the-top 80s action movie by Joseph Zito. Great special effects, great gore. River Wild, kind of like Die Hard on a river, where Kevin Bacon's your bad guy, Meryl Streep is your John McClane. It's pretty damn good, actually. Roadhouse, Robin Hood. A film I cannot get into. I don't know what it is. I just cannot get into this movie. I feel like this is a movie, I don't know, a little too romance and schmaltzy for me. Runaway Train. This is a great John Voight, Eric Roberts actioner. Rebecca De Mornay is very good in this too. Roadhouse, you can't go wrong with that one. Sabotage. Picked this up recently from a bookshop, actually, here. Mark Dacascos actioner, directed by Tibor Takacs. Yes, two different Robin Hoods. I prefer this one. The Ridley Scott one is okay. We have Safe House. Oh, it's an okay movie. Samurai Cop. Classic B movie, or Z movie. One of the worst movies ever made, but supremely entertaining. Bless me. Thank you. Shayna, I have no idea. I mean, I have it because it looks insane. Sherlock Holmes, really good Guy Ritchie action movies. Solid 3.5 out of 5s. I think they're good. We've got Treasure Sierra Madre, The Sheik, one of my oldest action-adventure films here from 1921. Can you believe that? The Rundown, an okay actioner, okay rock movie. Dante's Peak, one of my favorite disaster films. Definitely one of my favorite from the 90s. Love that one. Smokey and the Bandit. Rampage. Twister, Poseidon, and The Perfect Storm. Really only have it for the Twister. I'm not a big fan of Poseidon or The Perfect Storm, frankly. I think Perfect Storm is... I don't know. I don't like how that film ends. I think it's stupid. The Shooter. This is probably the best Mark Wahlberg actioner. I like this film quite a bit. Antoine Fuqua shoots the hell out of this movie. Great, tense action thriller. Political thriller. Skin Trade... It's a Dolph Lundgren, Tony Jaa joint. Skyfall. And Skyfall. Smoking Aces. 1 and 2. I've never seen the second one, but the first one is pretty good if you like Pulp Fiction ripoffs. This is a good Pulp Fiction ripoff. SoCo. Southern Comfort. This is a very good Walter Hill film that deconstructs masculinity in a really interesting way. Sisu, I still need to see Sisu. Spectre. Stone Cold. There's a badass movie. With Brian Bosworth, the short-lived ex-NFL player, action hero. Craig R. Baxley. Hey, Brian Bosworth was in a couple really good movies, so. Here's an underrated Bruce Willis actioner from the 90s. I think this one is pretty damn good. Pretty tight thriller, good action. Good direction. Rowdy Harrington, who did Death Machine, I talked about in my horror video. Yeah, Deliverance-ploitation at its finest. That's a good way to put it. This is a weird one I haven't seen yet. Brian Trenchard Smith, the Australian Ozploitation director, did this one in 78. Looks crazy, so stunt rock. Swiss Family Robinson, a film I grew up renting from the public library. Very nostalgic. Swordfish, you get to see Halle Berry's boobies in this one. That was kind of its claim to fame, and I think still is. It especially was in 2001 when I was 13 years old. She is beautiful in this movie. Is it a good movie? Yeah, it's a pretty good sort of futuristic, pseudo-futuristic hacker flick. Coming off the coattails of The Matrix, which is the ultimate hacker flick. This pales in comparison, but it's not bad. I've never seen Wake and Fright. No, I've heard of it, though. 90s Three Musketeers, a really good version of it. Paul W. Sanderson, Three Musketeers, not a great version of it. I hate this cover with a passion. That doesn't even look like a real human. It's like a member of the Monkees or something. Thunder Road, this is one I haven't seen with Mitchum. Tribal, Get Out Alive. Dollar Tree fodder here. Hey, some of these are pretty good. Triple Threat, Jesse V. Johnson action flick, one of the last good ones he did. With a great cast, Tiger Chan, Iko Uwais, Tony Jaa, Scott Atkins, Michael Jai White, Michael Bisping, Tony Scott. Vanishing Point, still haven't seen this chase film. Vigilante, really good, underrated, early 80s exploitation action crime film here with a good performance from, what's his name? Robert Forster. Fred Williamson is in this. Joe Spinell. Yeah. Director William Lustig, who did Maniac Cop. Warriors! The classic Warriors. Walter Hill's probably most well-known film. James Remar, great cast, very influential, paints a world in and of its own. It's a very unique world-building exercise in The Warriors, in my opinion. Really makes you feel like you're there. Carsploitation movie. Yeah, it's like an Ozploitation, Carsploitation, I guess you could say, yeah. Did you ever consider making an American equivalent to your Japanese cyberpunk video with... Yeah, there's so much I want to do. My problem is I need to compartmentalize and I need to have some sort of structure. So that's what I'm in the midst of trying to work on. Love The Warriors, absolutely. Love Walter Hill. Haven't seen this one. White House Down. This came out in the same year as Olympus Has Fallen, or close to it. And hey, we got 2 Die Hard ripoffs in the same year, so that was pretty amazing. Here's a beautiful little copy of The Wizard, one of my most nostalgic films, one of my feel-good, happy place films. Love this movie, and I loved it as a kid, still love it as an adult. I recognize it's just a Rain Man ripoff, which I never realized until I was an adult. Here we have the trilogy of Triple X films. I like this one. It's kind of like a Bond movie for the extreme early 2000 era. It really is. The plot is structured like a Bond film. It's even more over the top and ridiculous in terms of its stunts. I wish the series kind of kept to that Bond ripoff formula, but they do deviate a bit. Ice Cube is not the best action hero. They do bring Vin Diesel back for this one. This one's an okay action, turn your brain off action flick. It's not bad. It's got a decent director. DJ Caruso, the guy who did Insomnia, a couple good thrillers. All right, here we have it's the end of the action. It's action plus adventure. So films like The Wizard aren't quite action, but they do fall into adventure. So this is action adventure. Disaster films. We've got obviously pretty much all of Roland Emmerich's movies are here. 2012. I love all of his movies. Still haven't seen the one that kicked it off. Airport, Armageddon, Michael Bay. Very good movie. Very, very poignant. I cried in the theater with all my friends back when I was 13, watching that, 12 or whatever. Very good Roland Emmerich film here. I love Day After Tomorrow. I think it's very solid disaster flick. '09 movie, yeah. Everybody was freaked out about 2012 and the end of the Mayan calendar. Hey, now that we look back, maybe that was the end, the beginning of the end. That's when smartphones really started to proliferate and the internet started to take over everyone's lives. Deep Impact, Daylight, super underrated Stallone disaster film where a tunnel collapses and they have to find their way out. New York's tunnels. I really like this movie. This is a Rob Cohen film. It's just cool seeing Stallone in a disaster flick. Deepwater Horizon, pretty good. Peter Berg and Mark Wahlberg, disaster flick there based on true stories. The oldest disaster flick I have. Let's see. I just got a comment. I couldn't see it. It was on the way out. Love all his movies. Sorry, I'm talking so fast. Love all his movies. Ahem. What about Godzilla? Oh, absolutely. Have you not heard me talk about my love for the '98 Godzilla? I love the '98 Godzilla. That was an early exposure to Godzilla. That's what started it for me personally. And at the time, I didn't know any different, and I thought it was a great blockbuster, giant monster movie. I still feel that way. I think it has some issues, sure. But I think its main issue is people confusing it with Japanese Godzilla. It's not Japanese Godzilla. It's American. Americans have always butchered Godzilla. Look at King of the Monsters, the old one. But no, Godzilla '98, I think, hits all the right beats of a good kaiju film. And if you dislocate it from the Japanese Gojira franchise, which I get is hard to do since the name of the film is Godzilla, we have to disagree when I came to it as a Godzilla fan. Yeah, no, and that's fine. We don't. I hope we have disagreements. We don't want to all be in an echo chamber here. But I think I can make my claim as to why I like Godzilla. I think its use of special effects, its miniatures, and blended with the CG. My major gripe is that it just looks like Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, the monster. I think they could have made a more unique monster. Anywho, this is the oldest disaster flick I have in my collection, Deluge. I just think this is so cool, guys. Look at this. Yet to watch it, but it came out in '33. Everest, I haven't seen. Geostorm, if you want to see like a drunk, phoned-in Gerard Butler performance, which is still somehow supremely entertaining, check this out. This is done by Dean Devlin, who was kind of Roland Emmerich's apprentice. He got a movie of his own, and it feels like a Roland Emmerich film. Not quite as good, though. If you want to see the best disaster flick in the last 10 or 15 years, I would say, it's this one, Greenland. It treats the disaster with respect and with severity. Gerard Butler is giving this one his all. It's got a lot of depth to it for a disaster flick, and when the disaster strikes, you feel it. It's very visceral. And this one is directed by Rick Roman Waugh, who's a good director. My favorite disaster movie is coming up. I will point it out. Here we have found footage one. Are all disaster movies bad? No, I love a good disaster movie. Outbreak, that's a good one. And my favorite of all time, arguably the one that kicked it off, at least the 70s craze of disaster flicks, and then the 90s craze would kind of resurge. We have music by John Williams. This is one of the best. This is Irwin Allen at the peak of his powers as a producer. Ronald Neame directed this. This is Gene Hackman. Look at that cast. Really set the foundation for what a disaster film could be. It's awesome. The River is a Mel Gibson flick. I'm not quite sure if this falls into disaster territory, but it seems to be from the outside looking in. Two mediocre rock movies. Titanic. Here's a cool one. Did you guys know that the Nazis produced films? Rest in peace, Gene Hackman. Absolutely. So when the Nazis took over Germany, essentially, they were in control of all the industries. And this was a piece of propaganda that they put out during wartime. All the nations put out propaganda during wartime. Even the U.S., we all did it, making our countries look as good as we can. Poseidon is my favorite. Yeah, Poseidon Adventure. The original, 72? Yeah. This came out towards the end of the Nazi reign in '43. And I hear it's actually a pretty decent Titanic film that makes Americans and Europe, the English look buffoons. Have you seen Earthquake? I haven't seen Earthquake. That's why I didn't pull it out. I actually haven't seen that one yet. Titanic, the James Cameron one, I do want to rewatch. Towering Inferno, another classic 70s film here that was Steve McQueen and Paul Newman cried about how much screen time they had. Whiny rich bastards. United 93, I still think this is Greengrass's best film. I think this is an incredibly tense film about a very serious subject, and it came out relatively soon, relatively short after 9/11. This is an incredible movie that will make you cry, and you will be tense till the end of the film. It's especially if you're American, but, you know, of course, any human would get the same reaction. Original Titanic was from 97. Yeah, well, they had plenty of Titanic movies before that. A Night to Remember, even Hitchcock, Lifeboat, I think is a Titanic film. Here's one that is now forgotten. Early 2000s, I saw this in the theaters with my buddies at the time. This is a good disaster flick. This is kind of like an avalanche disaster flick here. Had to get this from overseas, from Japan, years and years ago. This is Volcano with Tommy Lee Jones. Very solid disaster flick here with some questionable CG, but it's a great movie. I have a lot of fun with it. Born 2 and 3. Yeah, no, I love those films too. I just think there's something about this film. Maybe it's just ominous, but he just nails the emotions in this movie. And World Trade Center, actually one I haven't seen. Oliver Stone film I hear is very, very slow. Here we have the video game movie adaptations area, which is bigger than most people's, I am sure, because I'm a sucker for these kinds of movies as a big video game fan. We have Assassin's Creed, Blood Rain, Doom, pretty good early video game movie. Not much to do with the games, but hey. Double Dragon, I have on a German Blu-ray actually here. I love this movie. I grew up with it. It's pretty bad. Alyssa Milano is hotter than hot in this movie, though. My God. Yeah, she's hot. Final Fantasy, we have some of the animated ones there. Hitman movies aren't too good. Some Uwe Boll, obviously. Max Payne, what a disappointment this was. As a big Max Payne fan. Yeah, the Rampage movie's okay. We're about to see a nosedive in quality. Hey, we've got the best, arguably, video game movie here. Mortal Kombat. And one of the worst, Annihilation. And this is like a web series. It's pretty good, but I love Mortal Kombat. We've got Hey You Pikachu, which is actually pretty damn good Pikachu movie. Or a Pokemon movie. You want to see like one of the most offensive films ever. This film would never be made today. Nobody would ever distribute this, so I'm glad I have it. Uwe Boll doing the most Uwe Boll movie ever. Watch it with a friend. It is crazy and hilarious. If you have a thick stomach. Let me play Mortal Kombat as a kid. Now I hear you. My mom only let me get the Super Nintendo one, which had the blood taken out, so I was pissed about that. Ratchet and Clank, I am an apologist for these Resident Evil films, which are closer to the games. Final Destination, I love Final Destination. Can't wait to see the new one. And I'm an apologist for these films, too. I think they're all great, but I think the first three are fantastic and really capture, at least the first two really capture the vibe of the early games, especially number 2. I think it gets the atmosphere down pat. Silent Hill, same thing here. Xavier Gens, or Christoph Gans, I get those two mixed up, really captured the atmosphere of Silent Hill very well. I just think it's paced a little oddly and takes some deviations from the original story that I think were unneeded. Hasn't the German Blu-ray of Double Dragon a back cover without the FSK sign? Yeah, I guess it does. There you go. Wow, thanks for the heads up. I'm going to change that, make it more presentable. Retribution. Yeah, I mean, I have fun with all of them, but the first three films are where it's at for me. I watch those over and over and over. I think they're very competent action flicks, B-movie action flicks, big budget B-movie action flicks, which you know I love. Sonic the Hedgehog, I think this is the best of the three. Two I thought was good, and three I thought was okay. Super Mario Brothers, the original. This is like a super out of print, hard to find steelbook now. Got this from overseas back for like $6 or something when nobody cared about this stuff, and now this goes for, I think, over 150. We've got the Tekken movies. I didn't even know there was a sequel till I found that. Ghost Recon, like fan film here. Lara Croft movies, best Jim Carrey video game movie in my opinion. Oh yeah, no, they're very solid. I agree. Tomb Raider, a decent little Tomb Raider flick, and Warcraft, which is Next up, we have Blaxploitation, which is not as big as I'd like it to be. Do your best Keanu impression. Oh, I can't. Oh man, I can't do that. We've gone too far. There's my Keanu. Blaxploitation. Black Mama, White Mama, Foxy Brown, Human Tornado, I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker, Last Dragon, and then Shiva Baby, and Trouble Man. I love Trouble Man. What a score on this one by Marvin Gaye. Great songs. All right, I am in the light, but hopefully you guys could still see. This is my row of action heroes here, and then we have a couple Hong Kong action heroes. And all right, so we've got this weird movie, Treasure of the Ninja. Look at that cover. 2 for Paramount, 1 from WB. Gotta check those out. Yeah, they're a fun time. Here we have some really shitty Seagal films. This one actually pretty much collects all of the movies worth watching by Seagal. Attrition, the best movie he's done in the last 20 years, bar none. This is a pretty damn good action flick, which he wrote the story for and had a bit more to do with the production of this film. What I'm trying to say is he actually cared about this film because he's a narcissist and he wrote the story, so he wanted to give it his all, I guess. And it's a good action film, I think. Human Tornado, I still need to see it. I have it, I know. Top Gun, End of Days, I love this Schwarzenegger film. The only film that's close to horror. Last Stand, South Korean director Kim Ji-woon. Awesome movie. Attrition's so good, isn't it? I agree with you. Last Action Hero. Yeah, you can't go wrong with Seagal. This is a overseas set here. Under Siege 1 and 2, Hard to Kill, Nico, Above the Law, and Executive Decision. Exit Wounds, a film I like, but I recognize is not great. Kill Switch. Marked for Death, another great early 90s Steven Seagal film with voodoo and incredible violent executions. This is... which one? This is unwatchable. Out for Justice, another great Seagal film. This was what, his first? No. His first, I think, was Hard to Kill or Above the Law, right? That was... Yeah, I always get them mixed up. Anyway, we've got The Perfect Weapon. That's it for the Seagal films. And we've got Schwarzenegger. We've got this set here, which has Total Recall, Raw Deal, Red Heat. Total Recall, one of my favorite films of all time. Red Heat, a film I enjoy. And Raw Deal, a film that I think is pretty underrated in terms of an 80s crime action movie. 6th Day, I love this movie. I love the weird trilogy of movies he had in the mid-90s with End of Days, 6th Day, and Eraser. Especially these two that have like sci-fi elements. I love it. And in my opinion, probably the last like really good Schwarzenegger action film, Collateral Damage. I saw this in theaters with my pops, and then I remember getting a bootleg at a card show one day. Really love this film. Classic Schwarzenegger action. Kind of like Commando in ways. Not as over the top, not as good though. There we go. On Deadly Ground. Yep, that's a good one. On Deadly Ground. I agree with you. And let's see. Or, what's the other one that he did? Fire Down Below. I like that one too. Conan, Barbarian, and Destroyer. 2 classics, obviously. Eraser. I already said I like this one. Bootleg DVDs and Blu-rays. Yeah, no, I know. But in the early 2000s, bootleg DVDs were popping. We didn't have streaming. We didn't have downloadable movies, so that was the way to do it. I don't condone it. It is illegal, even though everybody and their mother pirates now, and they don't even know they're pirating. Like my parents. I'm like, Ma, you guys are like huge pirates for having these like illegal apps. Anyway, I don't really care. There are worse crimes in the world. We have Terminator 1, 2, and 3. Obviously, the first two are classic. 3 I like a lot, and it's fun. And I really am an apologist for this film. Again, if you separate this from the rest of the Terminator films, this is the only film in the Terminator franchise that attempted to do something totally different. And I think it accomplishes... I think Mick G made a pretty damn convincing action film. Science fiction action film. I think it's pretty damn good. These I just have because I'm a completionist. I think this is Genesis, and Dark Fate is terrible. Total Recall. This is a better version of Total Recall than the one that's in there. We've got a little Chuck Norris. I just have Chuck written. Chuck Norris action pack here. Code of Silence, my favorite Chuck Norris film. Missing in Action, a very close second. Lone Wolf McQuaid, very close second/third. Delta Force, an awesome Chuck Norris set. Delta Force 2. Firewalker, I want to love this film more than I do, but I just like it. It's kind of his Indiana Jones. Force Warrior, this movie's pretty bad. Invasion USA, one of my favorite Chuck movies, an amazing film. Jackie Chan, Sammo Hung, Michelle Yeoh, Scott Adkins, JCVD, and Tom Cruise. Absolutely. Tom Cruise, the last American action hero. That's what I've dubbed him. Stallone, we have Assassin's Cobra, The Specialist. I love The Specialist. Underrated. I love Cobra. Assassin's pretty damn solid, too. We have Demolition Man, Over the Top, Tango and Cash. Another amazing triple feature. Bullet to the Head. Have you guys seen Bullet to the Head? It's one of my best movies. Go see it. It's in theaters now. And, I put a bullet in this guy's head, that guy's head, and a bullet in the head. Stallone and Walter Hill. This should have been way better than it is. This is the start of the downward spiral of Stallone's movies. My favorite Stallone movie probably is Cliffhanger. I fucking love Cliffhanger. Die Hard on a Mountain. Great Lithgow villain. Get Carter. I still have to sit down and finish that one. Escape Plan. It was a novelty at the time because Stallone and Schwarzenegger were starring in a movie together. Lock Up. Really solid prison action drama here. Stallone puts in a hell of a performance. All right, we've got Van Damme. One of my favorite action stars, of course. Kickboxer. Oh yeah, Cliffhanger. Classic, Big L. Absolutely. So good. One of the best intros to any of these Die Hard ripoffs, in my opinion. One of the best action movie intros. It's so tense and really ups the stakes early on. Rennie Harlan, top of his game. All right, JCVD, we have Bloodsport, Time Cop, two of the better Van Damme flicks. I mean, I like all of his flicks for the most part, even these two. Cyborg is one I don't appreciate as much as most, but Death Warrant and Double Impact, love both of those movies. This is a great set. Hard Target is my favorite Van Damme flick. The Quest, Street Fighter, I love. Sudden Death, I love to death. That's his Die Hard in a hockey arena. Why do you think action stars are dying out? I think action stars are dying out. I'm not the first person to say this or think this, but I think Marvel absorbed most genre cinema, which is why we don't get comedies, we don't get fantasy films, we don't get a lot of sci-fi films, we don't get straight actioners, because the Marvel Cinematic Universe subsumed all of those subgenres and mashed them together to give you the Marvel film, which has all those genres in it. So why do you need other films? I guess Hollywood has thought. I remember Anthony Mackie said, you don't go to see... Tarantino has said this too, and I agree. You don't go to see an Anthony Mackie film. Anthony Mackie should be a star. If it was the 90s, he would be a star, an action star. They go to see a Captain America film, or they go to see a Falcon film, or an Iron Man film. These guys aren't movie stars. The star is the superhero. And I think that's what happened. The director's cut of Cyborg sometimes somber and black. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I hear the director's cut is way better. I do want to check that out. But I think the action star died out with the rise of the comic book movie, which absorbed all the other all of the genres into one and did away with the need for a headlining blockbuster action star. Back in the day, all you had to do was put Stallone at the top of your movie and it would sell. You can't put Mackie at the top of your movie and sell it. You can't put Downey Jr. at the top, Evans at the top. The movie star is dead. Tom Cruise is the only one that draws people to the theater, and that's why I think we should. This gets into another topic, but we'll cover it one day. I'm actually going to do a video on this topic and why I think these kind of things have died out. Literally, guys, name me the last comedy that made you laugh out loud. Comedy is subjective, I get it, but we haven't had good comedies in a very long time. And if it wasn't John Wick, we wouldn't even have action films. What do you think of that? That's what I think. Curious to know if you guys agree or would push back on some of what I said there. This one, Universal Soldier Return, Maximum Risk, Ringo Lam movie there, which I think has a ton of style. It's a pretty good movie. He did a few movies with Ringo Lam. Yeah, Tsui Hark, Ringo Lam. Yeah, he did like 4 movies, I think, with Hong Kong directors. Have you seen Daddy Daycare? Yeah, Daddy Daycare is a very old movie, but that was a good one. Well, it's like 20 years old now, right? So Stan Lee and Jack Kirby are to blame for this. Got it. Hey, no, I didn't say that. I think business executives are to blame for this. And now streaming allows bad movies to come out with no negative repercussions for the streaming service, and that lowers the overall quality of movies. Hence, Red Notice, Red One, Electric State. These are $250 million movies that it doesn't matter if they bomb or if people like them or not. Netflix still gets its money. So this is not the direction I think cinema should be going. Made me laugh was Hitman from last year and The Holdovers from the year before. Hitman. I don't know that one. Fair enough. What about slapstick comedies or stupid humor comedies? I feel like those don't exist anymore. 21 Jump Street seems to be the last one. We have The Bouncer. We have JCVD. This is a very meta sort of JCVD film. Maximum Risk. Again, this is the Tsui Hark or Ringo Lam actioner here. Really good Van Damme movie. This is when he starts becoming the serious Van Damme, as opposed to the plucky and jolly one. No Retreat, No Surrender, Korean film, which I still need to see, admittedly, where this is where Van Damme gets his start, and he actually plays a villain. Replicant. This is another Ringo Lam film. So he did 3 films with Ringo Lam, at least. This is a really underrated dual role sci-fi actioner. Slapstick is gone. Okay, so we could agree on that. Yeah, or stupid humor. Like the 21 Jump Street movies. We've got Swelter. A really nice Universal Soldier that my buddy Steve gifted me. Hundreds of Beavers. I've heard good things about that. Yep, indie film. Universal Soldier. A beautiful steelbook here, 4K steelbook. I love Universal Soldier. But I actually think this is just as good, and the sequel to this, Day of Reckoning, is even better, which we'll see here in a second. Oh, and last but not least, certainly not, this is one of the best Van Damme films, Kickboxer. Next up, we have Ass-Kickin' Adkins, Scott Adkins movies here, which I've accrued quite a few of. Some of them are hard because they didn't come over in the U.S. They didn't come out in the U.S. Accident Man, probably his most commercially successful film. Really fun movie with a tight and witty script. Very Guy Ritchie kind of vibe to it. Jesse V. Johnson kind of has that vibe, the Guy Ritchie vibe. At his peak, he did, at least. This is one of the best, most underrated action films of the last decade. This is called Avengement. Little weird, little strange title. Kind of generic. But, yeah, Day of Reckoning, Universal Soldier, all those movies are amazing. Jesse V. Johnson actually saw the review that I gave for one of his films. I can't remember if it was Avengement. I think it was. And he shouted me out because he appreciated how I talked about the film. And I had a little conversation with him. That was pretty cool. I doubt he remembers it, but it's one of those things I'll always remember. Wait, you watch movies Never Came to America? Yeah, of course. Of course. A lot of great movies came from overseas and never came out on Blu-ray here. Bloodsport, Kickboxer kind of guy. Hell yeah. Lake Michigan Monster is also a cool comedy movie. The first movie from the maker of Hundreds of Beavers. Interesting. I'll have to check out his work. If you want to see a great non-linear action movie here, it's, yeah, 5 stars. I agree, man. It's fucking perfect. This was the Scott Adkins film that I saw in 2015, and I was like, why have I been neglecting this guy? What the hell? Action Western hybrid, I agree. Close Range is another killer Isaac Florentine action flick. Debt Collector. I do have the Undisputed collection. It's up there on my box sets. We'll cover that another day. Got a copy of Debt Collector. I think this is a Canadian release. I'm not exactly sure, but I just want the film. This is a hilarious action movie. Great performances across the board. Another really solid action movie with these two guys have great chemistry. I think Wade Barrett's in the WWF. Hard Target 2 is an okay Atkins vehicle. Ninja 1 perfectly encapsulates the vibe and atmosphere and sort of character of 80s action films, and this came out 2009. Isaac Florentine directs the hell out of this and really makes you feel like a kid with these over-the-top action, ninja action sequences. But if you want to see one of the most underrated action films of all time, here it is right here. Ninja 2, Shadow of a Tear. I know it looks like Dollar Tree fodder that you would pass up on, but this film will blow you away with its choreography and its action set pieces. Isaac Florentine at his absolute peak. This is amazing. Absolutely, jolly good. Undisputed 2, another perfect action film, for sure. No Surrender. I hear Atkins is not in that one for long. Oh, here's Undisputed. Okay, I do have it down here. Despite Atkins not being in the first one, this has 2 and 3, and actually, I thought I had Boyka. Do I not have Boyka? That's crazy. I guess I thought that this one had Boyka in it. Weird. Okay, I need that. This is one of the most underrated action flicks of all time. It's like a David Lynch action film. It's psychological thriller. Really fucks with your head. Talks about PTSD. It's a commentary on PTSD and what war does to people, and how it's almost like Manchurian Candidate in a way, where these agents are kind of turned on to do these black ops missions. It's crazy, but really cool. Guys, check this movie out. It's got some incredible hard-hitting action sequences. All right, I don't know how much more I'm going to do here. I want to, let's see. I can't even get through one bookcase in an hour and a half. Jason Statham collection here. Not really much to say. I'm not the biggest fan of him. I enjoy his movies for what they are. We don't have many options when it comes to modern action heroes, so we get kind of stuck with Statham. And he's in some mediocre movies, some good ones. Transporter flicks being probably his best, and the Crank movies actually I would say are his best. They're amazing. Bank Job is really good. Liam Neeson. I love Liam Neeson actioners and thrillers. Cold Harvest, U.S. SEALs 2. Yeah, that's Isaac Florentine classics, man. My favorite Liam Neeson movie is probably a non-action film. This is Michael Collins, based on Michael Collins who helped found the Irish Republican Army and led the Irish Civil War in the late 1910s. Non-stop, really solid little action thriller here. Keeps you guessing. Rob Roy, sort of a Braveheart-like film that got overshadowed because it came out very, very in close proximity to Braveheart. My favorite of the modern Liam Neeson action crime run. I love this film. I think this film is hard-hitting, poignant, and really explores that father-son dynamic that I appreciate. Jaime Colette Serra did that. I've recently rewatched the Taken films. I think all of them are good. They do degrade in quality, but I think the first two are very good, and the first one is a classic. Here's Braveheart from Care Bears. Yeah. Unknown, a really sleek Bond-style Liam Neeson film there that, again, keeps you guessing. I think he makes some of his best films with Jaime Colette Serra. Guys, I think I'm going to do a couple more here, and then I'm going to end it at War, and we'll pick up there on another day. I don't know, these are getting too long for me. Let's see. All right, we've got, of course, the great Jackie Chan, who I've lost a lot of respect for over the last 20 years or so, but, it is what it is. He's made some of the great action films of all time. I just think he kind of makes schlocky, propagandistic garbage now, unfortunately. Growing up and performing in Hong Kong gave him a lot more creative freedom, I think, and that's just my opinion. Shanghai Noon and Shanghai Nights, awesome stuff. Snake and the Eagle's Shadow, Drunken Master, obviously classics. These are great. The Killer Meteors, Shaolin Woodman, Kill with Intrigue, Snake and Crane, Arts of Shaolin, Dragon Fist, Battle Creek Brawl, Dragon Lord. I haven't seen most of those. A lot of his early films I've been savoring, because I'm more of an 80s, 90s kind of Jackie Chan guy. Winners and Sinners, Wheels on Meals, The Protector, Twinkle Twinkle Lucky Stars, Armor of God 2, Crime Story, and City Hunter. So deep it can't be finished in one live is a good problem to have. Exactly. These sets drive me fucking bonkers because they have the sequel to My Lucky Stars, which is what? Winners and Sinners, but they don't have My Lucky Stars. They have Winners and Sinners and Twinkle Twinkle Lucky Stars, but they don't have My Lucky Stars, which is, I think, where it starts. We've got the 1911 The Revolution flick here. I think he plays Sun Yat-sen, is that right? No. Huang Xin, okay. But this is during the Chinese Revolution of 1911 to overthrow the imperialistic state. Bleeding Steel. This was an okay modern Jackie flick. It's okay. He's in it for most of the time, which is a plus. This is the last Operation Condor flick we're ever going to get, probably. Well, maybe not. He seems to be making some of these more fun international kind of action movies over the last couple of years, which I do want to check out. Dragons Forever, a killer action movie with the three brothers, Yin Biao, Jackie Chan, and Sammo Hung. Great fight with Benny the Jet there. Urquides. Drunken Master 2. This is the Hong Kong cut, which I had never seen up until Archive put this out. A lot of Jackie, definitely prefer the mid-80s Jackie, yes. And I just rewatched these. I finally got these for the first time. I've seen them uncut, Hong Kong editions. This is Project A and Project A Part 2. Both are phenomenal. Project A1 is probably slightly better, but I think they're both near perfect. Feel free to hit that thumbs up, guys, if you are enjoying this live stream. It'll help with the exposure of the live stream. Here we have Police Story 4, technically, but First Strike here in America. Again, I've never seen the Hong Kong cut of this, because we have not been allowed to by the powers that be. This is Stanley Tong, who also did Super Cop, which is Police Story 3. It's coming up. Pretty decent little Jackie Chan film. He's not in it for too much, but Drunken Master, I'm a Drunken Master 2 guy. Definitely. I appreciate Drunken Master, and I like it quite a bit, but Drunken Master 2 is incredible. Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Heart of Dragon. This one didn't do much for me the first time around. I was really thrown off by Sammo Hung's character, who plays like a Down syndrome dude. It's just kind of off-putting. I would imagine in Hong Kong it plays differently. I don't know. I got to give it another shot. It was just kind of weird. Kung Fu Yoga, again, this is kind of in the vein of Operation Condor. International kind of action flick. It's not bad. I actually thought it was one of the better Jackie flicks of late. Underrated Jackie Chan directed film here, Miracles, which is kind of his homage to the 30s and 40s Prohibition. Yeah, not Prohibition, but like gangster era. Yeah, Prohibition. Musical kind of thing. Dragons Forever. Yeah, it's an awesome one. New Police Story really surprised me when I watched this a couple years ago. I was very surprised that this was actually a good Police Story movie. Very true to the series, and probably a lot of people's favorite. I think this is just as good as the first two Police Stories. Super Cop is one of the best action films of the 90s, hands down. Michelle Yeoh, my queen. I love her a lot. Her and Jackie have an incredible chemistry, and they literally made themselves better by competing on set. Police Story Lockdown. An okay Police Story movie that takes a turn for the more serious and dramatic. Railroad Tigers, a few of these. Dragon Blade I haven't seen. Rumble in the Bronx, we still haven't seen the Hong Kong cut of this. Pretty sure one exists. Stanley Tong film here. I grew up watching this movie. One of my first exposure to Jackie, and I still have a soft spot for it. I think it's a fantastic action movie. Feels like Police Story. A lot of his movies do, frankly. Rush Hour trilogy. I love the first two, and I think the third one's pretty good. Has its moments. Skip Trace tries to rediscover the sort of comedic action stride that Jackie Chan hit, and it does an okay job. I'm just not a huge Johnny Knoxville guy. Spy Next Door, I need to see this movie. I don't hear very, very good things. Vanguard, still need to see this one. It looks good, looks up my alley, but who knows how long Jackie is in this for. It's probably a CG fest. That's the Jackie Chan collection. One of my favorite performers, if not my favorite performer of all time. Here we have the Jet Li stuff. Fearless, Unleashed, two really good Jet Li films. Badge of Fury, I haven't seen. Black Mask, really sleek, cool. Tsui Hark, or is it Daniel Lee? That's right. Tsui Hark did the sequel, I think. Black Mask, didn't he do the sequel? Do I not have that on Blu-ray? Thought I did. Hero, I am a huge fan of the Zhang Yimou, I call it the Colors trilogy. I guess it's now a Colors quadrilogy. Hero, one of my favorite films of all time. I think this is an incredible, beautiful, poetic, whimsical, tragic, and deep political action movie epic. This is just such an incredible film. One of the greats of all time. Yeah, George Lopez was in Spy Next Door. Zhang Yimou also did House of Flying Daggers and Curse of the Golden Flower, all near masterpieces in my opinion. Hero is a masterpiece. And then I finally watched Shadow the other night, which is in the same vein, a political epic thriller action wuxia homages. I did like, and Jackie is the main star of the film. It suffers from CGI many spots, but I really like the action bits. Stanley Tong needs to ditch the CGI. Yeah, no, I hear you. I think China is really leaning on the CGI, and it's not quite as good as one would hope. Kiss of the Dragon. This is his first movie. Yes, that's right. No. Was Romeo Must Die? Yeah, it came out before Kiss of the Dragon? Or no, Kiss of the Dragon's late 90s, isn't it? 01? Okay. Romeo Must Die came out first. Lethal Weapon 4 was his introduction here. What was your introduction to Hong Kong cinema? Jackie Chan. I didn't know about Hong Kong cinema when I watched Rumble in the Bronx, but I shortly thereafter knew. And The One, really good little post-Matrix actioner here with Jet Li. I like that movie. Hard to find Blu-ray. Sorcerer and the White Snake and Cradle to the Motherfucking Grave. Still love this film, despite it not being directed very, very well. All right, we've got Hong Kong / Chinese cinema. Now, One, Kiss, Cradle. Yep, there you go. Perry fan. I agree. All those are classics. These are not legit Blu-rays, I don't think. But at the time that I picked them up, it was the only way to have these on Blu-ray. And I took a risk on them. They were super cheap for the trilogy. They look pretty good. They're pretty good bootlegs. And actually, the transfers are damn good. So they're technically, it says 4K. I mean, they're HD. They look good. They have good subtitles. I was okay with this, I guess technically a bootleg set. But hey. Drive from 97? Absolutely. I showed that one off earlier. Mark Dacascos, I'm a huge fan of. And I discussed how Brett Ratner and Hollywood ripped them off. A Better Tomorrow is one of my favorite John Woo films. It's one of the coolest films ever made. Chow Yun-fat is the coolest actor to ever perform in action movies, in my opinion. He just gets it completely correct. Better Tomorrow 2 is good, despite some of the, I hate when movies recycle footage from the first film to pad out the runtime. This one doesn't do much of that, but this is Tsui Hark, passed over from John Woo, makes a really killer sort of Vietnam-era action film. City on Fire, recently rewatched this on Blu-ray. Excellent Ringo Lam film. One of his best, no doubt about it. This is classic heroic bloodshed. Fall of Heroes, one of the better modern Chinese films I've seen. This is Benny Chan, who worked with Jackie Chan on a few films. Those bootlegs are great bootlegs. I have a few myself. There you go. Nice uploads, man. I'm here watching. Thanks, WestX. Thanks for stopping in. One of the most devastating war films I've ever seen, directed by a director who doesn't get enough love, Lu Chuan. It's a black and white film based on the rape of Nanking. This is an incredibly harrowing film, not unlike Schindler's List, but even more visceral. City on Fire is getting a 4K from Shout. Very nice. I'm happy with the fortune star for now. Crouching Tiger, a film that I understand its greatness, but I'm not a fan of the second half of the film as much as I am of the first half. I think I got rid of the Hungry Caterpillar. I'm just like, I'll never watch this. That's part of my purge. Curse of the Golden Flower. This is a beautiful movie by Zhang Yimou, who also did a movie that I don't hate, that a lot of people hate. This is his fifth or fourth epic wuxia-inspired kind of thing. Yeah, good action drama, I agree. Great Wall, I think, is a pretty fun movie, you know, in a blockbuster, B-movie blockbuster sense. Matt Damon is good in it. All the Chinese supporting cast is good. Willem Dafoe, Pedro Pascal. And the action is phenomenal, despite the heavy reliance on CG. I think it's pretty awesome. It's a little propagandistic, sure, but it's awesome. Here we have Detective D, Tsui Hark, I haven't seen. Gotcha. We've got Election, which is the Chinese Godfather, the Hong Kong Godfather. This is an incredible Johnny To film. Visceral violence that has never affected me so much. Johnny To, the way he displays and portrays violence is very visceral and will make you feel sick, like real violence usually does make people feel. We have another. This is one of my favorite films of all time, from the Cat 3 category, baby. You know it's going to be good. Johnny To is one of the most underrated directors here in the West. He's not shown the love he deserves. I'm not sure what that is. Bellatar, no. But Exiled is one of the coolest heroic bloodshed movies ever. This will make you feel all the emotions and has one of the best, most cohesive casts in terms of their chemistry. Guys, if there's one film out of this whole collection that I recommend, it is Exiled. It is the coolest film ever made. It's perfect. I could cry. Extraordinary Mission from the directors of Infernal Affairs. Still need to see this relatively recent, over the last 10 years, I think, film. Another incredible Zhang Yimou war film. Here, again, that takes place, I believe, during the Rape of Nanjing. Yep, named the Rape of Nanking. Zhang Yimou, Christian Bale, an incredible performance, incredible movie. Zhang Yimou is one of the great Hong Kong directors, Chinese directors. Hard Boiled, probably one of my favorite action films of all time. Here we have a great, actually just played through the video game, which my PS3 version actually has the movie on the disc. Stranglehold. Sent me Exiled as a bonus when I bought Royal Warriors from you. That's right. Was that for one of the contests I threw? I don't remember. It's been a while. But I remember I had multiple copies of Exiled to give them to people. We have Sammo Hung here. A nice trilogy here of films. Not a connected trilogy, but 3 films from him. This is a Region B, put out by Eureka and Fortune Star. 2 other To films, part of a spiritual trilogy. Yes. To's films are absolutely incredible. I love all of them. Oh, my eBay store. That's right. Oh, that's right. Okay. Thank you for supporting me. We have the best Sammo Hung film that I've seen so far, Eastern Condors. I haven't seen enough of his films, I gotta admit, even though I grew up watching Martial Law with Arsenio Hall. The Magnificent Butcher and Iron Fisted Monk. But I love Eastern Condors. It's kind of his Dirty Dozen / Rambo flick. It's absolutely hard-hitting, fantastic. Has one of the best Hong Kong ensemble casts you will ever imagine. Beautiful love story. Beautiful story just all around. Beautiful cinematography. This film will leave you in awe visually. More Zhang Yimou stuff. Invisible Target, I actually just recently watched this. This kicked my ass. This is an awesome Benny Chan little action flick from 05, 06. Oh no, 07. It's fantastic. We've got a bunch of Ip Man movies. I've only seen 1 and 2 with Donnie Yen. And I know there's 3 and 4 I still need to see. 4 has Scott Adkins. And then we have this one, which is unconnected from the trilogy. And this one, which is also not connected to the trilogy. But I'm a big fan of Anthony Wong. He was the main in Exiled. and a lot of classic Hong Kong films. Anthony Wong is great. Very unique look because his father was, I believe, one of his parents was English. So he's got a distinct English-Chinese look. Journey to the West. This is Stephen Chow. I don't have enough Stephen Chow on Blu-ray. I really would like to. Like It from 2017. Yeah. This is a sequel here. Did Stephen Chow do this? Nope. Sui Hark did it. The Killer. Obviously one of the great action films of all time. This was the film that really put me on to this style of Hong Kong action film at the time. Aligning with yours, every time you bring out a film, I'm nodding in approval. Yeah, I know. Hey, that happens sometimes. It doesn't happen all the time, but it happens sometimes. Killzone, I prefer the first Killzone over the second one. A lot of people disagree with me. I think Killzone 1 really nails the atmosphere and sort of the logistical approach to the action in this movie. Oh my god, the alleyway scene is phenomenal. Killzone 2 is no slouch though. SPL 2. This is a very good movie. There's a Stephen Chow classic. Everybody knows Kung Fu Hustle. Still funny, Looney Tunes-like, wacky, satirical, parodical Hong Kong movie there. Stephen Chow. My favorite of his, probably From Beijing with Love or Out of the Dark. I love the early Fight Back to School. I love Stephen Chow's movies. He doesn't get enough love in the West because he never made it out to the West. Good for him. Yeah, Well Go USA. Yeah, they put out a lot of stuff, don't they? Look at it. Yep. Let the Bullets Fly, a modern Hong Kong film that I do want to see, a gun fu kind of flick with Chow Yun-fat, Zhang Wen, and Gay Yo. We've got Iron Monkey, classic 90s Hong Kong stuff, period piece, which the 90s weren't producing too many of from Hong Kong. Yin Wo Ping, before The Matrix. This is a phenomenal early 90s, mid-90s Hong Konger. Seven Warriors, that's actually the 1989 version of Seven Samurai, but the Chinese version, Hong Kong version. Great cast, ensemble cast, very good. Got these Monkey King movies, which are, I believe, a trilogy. Donnie Yen, Chow Yun-fat, Aaron Kwok. I'll check those out at some time. Redcliffe, John Woo, some great John Woo war epic classics. These are fucking phenomenal. Tony Leung, Takeshi Kaneshiro. This is the version, I think that kind of, yeah, part 1 and part 2. So they are separated into 2 films, but they are one film, essentially. I love these. These are fucking amazing, and based on some history, too. Raging Fire, I need to see. Yeah, I have that on DVD. Yep, his final film. Rest in peace. Yeah, I'm going to get to the Pixar and animated stuff soon, for sure. Just stay tuned. I'm going to get to all of this stuff. Rikyo, this is the Chinese adaptation of the Rikyo manga and animated films, anime at the time. This really does capture the essence of the anime, but brings it to an insane Hong Kong level. Nam Lam Choi is one of the most underrated. He's known as Nam Nai Choi here. Nam Nai Choi, Nam Lam Choi, Nam Lam Kai. He's known as a bunch of different names. I always say Nam Lam Choi. So, oh yeah, Monsters, Inc. is great, for sure. But Rikyo, not my favorite Lam Nam Choi film, but such an incredibly fun movie. Shaolin Soccer from Stephen Chow is a perfect movie. I love that movie. It's such a trip. Check out The Champions from the 80s with Yin Bio. The Champions is on Netflix, I think, and it's Shaolin Soccer before Shaolin Soccer, and it's just as much fun. So check that one out, Lucy. Rikyo manga. Yep, I actually watched the anime the other night. It's pretty damn good. Not as good as the Hong Kong movie. Do you have a section for Japanese violent films like Sonatine? Yep, I do. We'll cover that today. My buddies and I laughed our ass off watching Rikyo in school. Absolutely, that's what it's for. It's such a great movie. We have another Fortune Star release here. I actually found this in a thrift shop. I do still have the Kirby anime. Yes, I can't get rid of that. The manga goes beyond the story of the anime. Yes, it does. That's for sure. I know that. I haven't read it, admittedly. Guys, I see a bunch of people are in here. I thank you all for stopping in. Feel free to give the live stream a thumbs up. That helps me with exposure to bring more people into the channel, which is obviously a good goal to have. Royal Warriors is part of the In the Line of Duty franchise, and I think it's the fourth one. Michelle Yeoh stars, and yeah, it's one of the great Hong Kong action movies from this era, Cat 3 era. You're stuck on a desert island and get to pick all Hong Kong action films or all American action films. What do you choose? Hong Kong, hands down. You have all the Shaw Brothers stuff, the wuxia stuff, and then you have all the heroic bloodshed stuff, which is an extension of wuxia, just modernized. And then you have the last 20 years of Hong Kong Chinese cinema. You know, in 97, Hong Kong was given back to the Chinese, so cinema changed at that point. I do recognize that. I think it changed not for the better, but it's still solid, and I think China is finding its grounding again in terms of its film industry. So we'll see what they produce. No question, though. Hong Kong, no question. Line of Duty 1 through 4 are all fucking awesome. Yes, they are. My Desert Island movie from Hong Kong would be Twin Dragons. Have you seen the uncut version of that? Because I still haven't seen the Hong Kong version of Twin Dragons. I still have the double feature. I'm looking to sell that off to get the newly released 88 Films one. We have The Seventh Curse, one of the wackiest and most fun. This is my favorite Lam Nai Choi film. The director of Rikyo, again, that goes by a million different names. Did you see RRR? No, is that the Bollywood action film? Heard good things. This is way over the top, incredibly wacky, super fun. Cho Yun-fat is in this as part of the trio. Maggie Cheung and Shin Soo-ho play the trio here. Wong Jing is in this. Lam Nai Choi directs the hell out of this insane movie. Shadow, just watched this for the first time. Political intrigue, if you're into that kind of thing, and great action set pieces. This is like a black and white movie shot in color. All the sets are black and white. It's incredible. The only non-black and white things are skin complexion in this movie. It's just something else. Shockwave, I hear this is a pretty good, pretty recent Hong Kong Chinese action flick. We've got True Legend, Tai Chi Hero, a couple I haven't seen. Unity of Heroes, got a couple there I haven't seen. Oh, you've got to see it sometime. RR is my favorite 21st century blockbuster action film after Top Gun. Well, that's quite the statement. All right, we're going to finish the... Yeah, fuck it. We'll do a comic book, and then we'll call it a day. We'll start on War another day. I'm hungry, and I gotta take a drink. First-person water drink. All right, got a couple more I haven't seen, or actually White Vengeance I haven't seen. Wrath of Vajra is actually a pretty solid little movie here. This one I found at a or at a thrift shop as well. Get such good luck sometimes finding this shit. Yes, Madam. Yeah, growing up with the Dimension one, VHS, I have a special spot for that cut and that dub of Jackie. It's great. Yeah, no, I hear you. Does the 88 Films version have both voice tracks? Hope that wasn't vodka. No, it's not vodka. I don't drink anymore. Dangerous habit. We've got Yes, Ma'am here, which I believe is In the Line of Duty 1. Right, guys? This is the first In the Line of Duty film with a smoking fucking hot young Michelle Yeoh, who is at her acrobatic pinnacle, her peak. She's just incredible in this film. I love her. Michelle, if you're out there, marry me, please. She's incredible. This is one of the great action flicks of the 80s. It will floor you. And it's about 10, 15 years ahead of anything that that America was doing. I always say Hong Kong action movies are always about a decade ahead of the West. It's always been that way. Don't drink or you'll end up like Jackie at the end of Drunken Master 2. One of the craziest endings I've ever seen. Absolutely. But hey, the alcohol helps him kick ass, right? For most of that movie. All right, going into my little Shaw Brothers set collection here. Now, don't fret. You see those two boxes up there? That's all Shaw Brothers. They have like 15 movies each. So those will be covered in my next video. But this is the stuff that's not in those wonderful collections. My favorite Hong Kong movie, one of my favorites of all time, is 8 Diagram Pole Fighter. Yeah, I used to be a beer person, and I drank too much, and I had to stop. So I've been sober for a few years now. Let's see. Eight Diagram Pole Fighter is an insane action movie. It's hard hitting. It's amazing. Golden Harvest or Shaw. Oh man, both are tremendous. I mean, both have put out countless great films. If I had to choose, God, you're making me choose between Jackie Chan and Shaw Brothers stuff. I can't choose. I can't choose. I'm sorry. These are a couple I haven't seen. Come Drink With Me I have seen, but on DVD back in the day. I have the Blu-ray here. A great classic. Flag of Iron is awesome. I love the action set pieces in this. We got the non-martial arts movies like Mighty Peking Man or Inframan. Oh, dude, Super Inframan. The Chinese doing tokusatsu. Can't go wrong. This has kaiju, tokusatsu. This has action, fantasy. Look at the costumes here. The English dub is hilarious. The Chinese cut is even better. Deadly Duo, Heroic Ones. Yeah, good stuff. Shaw Brothers. Can't go wrong. Next up, we have Japanese cinema. It says, by the way, these are all Japanese cinema, South Korean cinema, Thai cinema. These are all excluding horror, because I have my horror over there. 13 Assassins, a fantastic Takashi Miike film. And I'm not a huge fan of Takashi Miike. I think... Sorry, I just missed a comment there. How does your favorite Arnold film fare against your favorite Jackie film? Oh, man, you're putting me to the test. I'd have to think about it. I don't know. My favorite Schwarzenegger is probably, what, T2? And my favorite Jackie is like Drunken Master 2 or Police Story. I'd have to think about it, man. Or Super Cop. All right, next up we have... I'm so happy that this finally got a Blu-ray release. I think it's a pretty good movie the first time I watched it. I need to watch it again. I'm just a huge fan of this genre of sort of intense, cyberpunk, what's the word I'm looking for? Subversive, transgressive cinema here. I love this stuff. I'm here to ask... God, you keep me on my toes, Let's see. Actually, most of your questions make me say your username aloud. Transgressive. Yes, transgressive is the word I was looking for. Subversive, transgressive cinema. This is a really weird one with a crazy performance. Shozen Fukui did this one. Same director of, what do you call? Rubber's Lover. One of the staples in the Japanese cyberpunk movement of the 80s. Oh my God, Pinocchio movies besides Disney. Now, this is nothing like the Disney movie. It's very, very different. It's about a sex robot in the future who kind of wanders Tokyo, Japan. Got to check it. Oh, Electric Dragon 8000V is amazing. I have that on DVD. Is that on Blu-ray now? It's an excellent little movie. Short movie, but a great one. Alien vs. Ninja. Haven't seen that. Space Battleship Yamato, the live action one. We've got Zatoichi, which this was the way that I owned... Oh, no, okay. The DVD had Sonatine. But I upgraded to the Blu-ray for Zatoichi, which, by the way, is Takeshi Kitano, who is the Japanese Martin Scorsese. But even more so than Martin Scorsese, Kitano stars in his own films. He writes, directs, stars in his own films, which Scorsese only directs most of the time. But you can compare the two. Japanese film I discovered and loved was Redline. It's an anime. You might have seen it. Oh, yeah. I have Redline on Blu. It's crazy. Psychedelic trip of a movie. New line version of Pinocchio and the Netflix claymation movie. Yep. Guillermo del Toro did one. Disney did a live-action remake. There's one from the 90s with Jonathan Taylor. What's his name? But, Takeshi Kitano is probably my favorite Japanese director. I've seen most of his crime films. Bloody Spear at Mount Fuji. I found this recently at the flea market for like a couple bucks. Oh, this is like a 50s, I want to say. Yeah, 55 samurai film. Takashi Beat. Yes, Beat Takashi is the greatest. He was actually a comedian in Japan and is a comedian. Sonatine is one of the, favorite soundtracks in any film. I can agree with you. It is done by Joe Hisaishi, and you might know that name from his work with Hayao Miyazaki, who is the Japanese the animator in Japan and has been for a long time. He's their Jordan Peele. Yeah, yeah. I could see that. Burst City, this helped get the cyberpunk movement in Japan off the ground. This is not my favorite of that movement, but it is an integral part of it, and I talk about it in my cyberpunk video that I did on my channel. Now, he also did a film called Angel Dust, which I don't think is available on Blu-ray, or Gakuryu Ishii is the director. He goes by Sogo, or he went by Sogo Ishii. Now Gakuryu Ishii changed his name. And Angel Dust is one of the greatest, most underrated 90s films. It is such an incredible serial killer kind of thriller. Cult. Oh my god, I don't want to say too much. It's so good. Here's a Takashi Miike film I haven't seen. I got it for super cheap though, $2.50. Ichi. This is kind of let's see. So good. Thank you, I appreciate that. Tetsuo, yeah, man. Yeah, it's awesome stuff. Ichi, this is kind of a... I don't know much about this, if I'm being honest. I think this is Zatoichi film, like a female Zatoichi film. Yes, I plan to make more video essays like that. They're just not going to be as often as I used to, because I can't spend 30, 40 hours editing 2 videos a week anymore. I just... unfortunately, I don't make enough money, so I have to work more, and that's why I'm doing live streams, because they're easier for me to do. But I'm not going to ditch my old style of making videos. I'm just going to do them less. Lone Wolf and Cub. I picked this up pretty recently with some credit from a bookstore. And I'm okay with not having the Shout or the Criterion one right now. One day I will get it. Thank you, I'm glad you enjoy them. And they don't require any editing, which is fantastic. And I'm an unscripted kind of guy. But I still need to sit down and watch all of these. I've seen the first one, which is an absolute classic. But all of them are supposed to be great. So I'm looking forward to sitting down and working my way through this classic samurai collection set. This one, I'm not sure I need in the collection. This is like a weird drama comedy. But it wasn't worth me selling, so I kind of kept it around. I'm going to do some more research on that, see if it's worth it. It's not really my type of Japanese flick. Outrage. Formative year? Yeah, it was... It was during a hard time in my life when my parents were divorcing, and I kind of dove headfirst into cinema. I was probably around 13. And that's when I started discovering things on my own, things that my parents weren't showing me. I rented movies throughout the 90s that my parents let me rent. But at 13, they kind of let me off on my own cinematic journey. Blu-ray from America. I'm not sure this Blu-ray Japan. Yeah. Here we have a great modern Takeshi Kitano film. A lot of people know him for this one. He's got a trilogy of these outrage films where he plays a Yakuza guy who kind of works his way to the top, and it's fantastic stuff. These are all solid films. R100, Hitoshi Matsumoto's R100. I've heard this is a really good kind of Cronenberg-like film, so I do want to check that out. Draft House put that out. Dan, which is my favorite Akira Kurosawa film. This is My Speed, political epic war thriller, epic war film. Very political, based on Macbeth. Is it Macbeth? No. King Lear. Based on King Lear, and just follows an ailing shogun who is passing the torch on to his sons, but his sons argue and fight to the death about who should take over Japan. It's a fantastic movie with some of the most beautiful shots that have ever been composed. And I got this I bought 2 of these at Best Buy when they still had physical media. Throne of Blood is Macbeth. There you go. Thank you. And I have that one, but on Criterion. I picked up 2 of these because I noticed they were selling for a lot. And so I resold one of them and paid for this one. Yeah, Lionsgate, hey, they're hit or miss. This one I found at the flea market a couple months ago for $1 or $2, and I definitely didn't pay $40 for it. Sailor Suit, Machine Gun. This looks like a very Japanese movie, action movie with a cute schoolgirl. Can't go wrong with that. Shinobi, Heart Under Blade. I haven't seen that one. Now, this is kind of a Frankenstein version of Sonatine here. I had the Nova version, which had this awesome slipcover. Isn't that a great slipcover? Nova does some good work. But the problem with the Nova release was that it didn't have English subtitles, as you could see here. Yeah, rip off of Sailor Moon. Well, this definitely came out before Sailor Moon. It's an 80s movie, I think. It's original theatrical and the complete version of Kanpekiban. Yeah, there you go. Schoolgirl stuff. And so I kept this beautiful slipcover here. All right. Yeah, it's late over there, Lucy. Thank you. Where are you tuning in from, if you don't mind me asking? I'm very interested to see where people are tuning in from all over the world. But have a good night, Lucy. Thank you for stopping in, and thanks for supporting this live stream. But yeah, this didn't have an English subtitle track, and I was like, oh, son of a bitch, I made a mistake. So when this came out by Bandai, I picked it up because this does have an English soundtrack. This is one of my favorite Japanese films of all time. Germany. Thank you so much from Germany. I appreciate it, Lucy. Have a good night. Auf Wiedersehen? Did I say Auf Wiedersehen? Auf Wiedersehen? Did I say that right? Takashi Kitano's Sonatine. This is his magnum opus. This is one of the greatest gangster films of all time that explores the space between sort of that negative space. I heard it explained at once. The negative space between violence and serenity. It's a masterpiece. It'll make you laugh. It'll make you cry. It'll frustrate you. Texas, your neck of the woods. I'm in North Carolina, so not quite. South, technically, I guess. But this is such an incredible film that will make you think. It's philosophical. It's dreamlike. It is bookended by some of the most violent scenes in any crime film, but the middle of this film is nothing but a dream that is shattered by reality, and it is a phenomenal film. And so that's why I kind of Frankenstein together this version of Sonatine here. I'm running out of battery here. Holy crap, I'm nuts. That and Pulse are two of my favorite Japanese films in terms of atmosphere and texture. Yeah, well said. Nothing gets it. Nothing gets atmosphere better than the Japanese when they're on point, man. Sukiyaki Western Django, Takeshi Miike film, which I think is okay. Yoji Yamada film, I remember getting this off the free shelf at one of my old jobs. Yeah, they were like, oh, we can't sell this here because it's not from America. Little do they know, it's region A, baby. We share regions with Asia. Got this from, Big Lots years ago. It's like an Ultraman kaiju kind of movie here. Yakuza Law. I don't have many of Teruo Ishii's films. He was known for a lot of the Yakuza J-exploitation films in the 60s and 70s. This one is one my buddy gave me. Making YouTube videos, yeah, well, I'll be honest with you guys. A lot of people prefer fireworks. I'm a son of... Yeah, Hanabi is brilliant too. Don't get me wrong. I'll be honest with you guys. I grinded for 3 years doing 2 years at least doing 2 videos a week, editing, staying up late, going through all these issues, and I'm not very algorithm friendly, so YouTube didn't do much to boost my channel, despite it being popular with the people that found it. And it was discouraging. I got to be honest. I lost my passion for it for a while, but I found that passion again, and I'm not going to take it as seriously as I did, because it was a part-time job, if not a full-time job, and one that I wasn't getting paid for. And passion can only take you so much, I wish we lived in a world where if you follow your passion for a few years that you can make a living doing it, but I wasn't able to make it happen. And if it happens this time around, great. If not, that's fine too. I enjoy the community. I love talking about films. All right, guys, so let's see. We get into South Korean cinema. I Saw the Devil, one of the great Park Chan-wook films, or Kim Ji-woon films. I Saw the Devil will knock you on your ass. Min Sik Choi is fantastic in this film. Lee Byung-hun is great too. Min Sik Choi, there you go. South Korea has definitely seen its stride over the last 15, 20 years. It's unfortunate, but genre cinema fans have a hard time breaking through on YouTube. You either got to go only mainstream or be a grifter trashing every new Star Wars project. And that's what I discovered. And I am never going to sell out. I'm never going to do things for the clicks or for the clout. I saw a lot of YouTubers take that route, and good for them. They're more successful than I am, but I'm a man of principle. Favorite cartoon? Devil, I know you're focusing on cartoon titles for now. Favorite cartoon? Ah, man, I don't know. I'd have to think about it. Here we have the South Korean version of A Better Tomorrow. It's actually pretty damn good. Company Man, great gangster flick there. For the Empire, another good gangster South Korean flick. Here's a fun Kim Ji-woon film. Kind of like South Korean Good, Bad, and the Ugly. It's tons of fun, great pace, great actors. My favorite South Korean actor is Kang Ho-sung. You guys would know him probably from Parasite. Kind of broke out in the mainstream there. Kundal, this is a good one. Man from Nowhere, a kick-ass John Wick-style South Korean actioner. New World, another great South Korean gangster flick. No Tears for the Dead, again, kind of John Wick-style, directed by the guy from Man from Nowhere, Lee Jong-bom. And this is another great Lee Jong-bom film, but not as good as Man from Nowhere. Parasite, this is the South Korean film that broke out in America and won the first foreign film to win the Academy Award. That doesn't really mean anything to me. The Academy Awards are dead to me. Maybe they meant something at some point, but they don't anymore with all their incredibly insane rules. Look into it for yourself. Jun Bong-ho did direct the hell out of this. This is a seething, biting class commentary / satire that is punctuated with violence and really shows you the rich feeding off the poor and the poor feeding off the rich, and there are no good guys. It's something else. I sometimes struggle with the depiction of women in South Korean films. Not sure if it's just what I've seen, but I feel like there's a streak of misogyny sometimes. Absolutely. It could also be misogyny from, how do I say this? Different cultures have different norms. I'm not a cultural or moral relativist. I believe there are there are good things and bad things in the world. There's good and evil. And yeah, sometimes the portrayal of women in Asian films does not suit our Western perspective. I think that's a good thing if you feel uncomfortable. That means you're being challenged, and that means you have a chance to sort of uphold your principles. And I don't know where you're from, but I'm talking morally, ethically here. We feel it in our stomachs when we see something that makes us uncomfortable in cinema. Sometimes it's actually offensive, or you can allow yourself to be offended, but sometimes it's cultural. Sometimes they're trying to make a point. Yeah, there's a whole lot of, philosophical bored cyborg, which is funny because, anyway. Vengeance trilogy, Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, Old Boy, and Lady Vengeance. I've seen Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance and Old Boy. Oh, no, I've seen Old Boy and Lady Vengeance, both excellent Park Chan-wook films. We've got The Villainous, the kick-ass South Korean action flick here, not unlike John Wick, non-stop action, an incredible opening sequence. Wochi, I haven't seen, but it looks super fun. And War of the Arrows, I haven't seen, but it looks very good. Up here, we have My Way. It's a South Korean war film. 300, Rise of the Empire. This was from my father's collection, so I'm holding on to that. The Batman. Great Batman movie there. Captain Marvel, otherwise known as Shazam. This is a great film serial from the early 40s. This is Sparta! Yeah, exactly. Bloodshot, a not so good comic book movie. My first comic book movie in a time where there was a drought, an absolute dearth of comic book films. Now we have a glut of them. This is My Captain America, directed by Albert Pyun. They say there's a director's cut out there. I'd love to see that. Where were we? All right, and we have Thai cinema. Admittedly, a country I haven't seen very many action films from, but I do want to correct that. That's why I own these. I haven't seen any of these. None of those. I have obviously seen Ong Bak 2 and 3. The series gets worse as it goes along, but it's still good. Tony Jaa is awesome. Indie comics based off cartoons, better in my opinion. Yeah, I could see that for sure. The Protector, I love The Protector. Another great Tony Jaa film. Protector 2 is even pretty good. It's okay. And I haven't seen those. All right, guys, last but not least, this is going to be the last section for today, and then we'll pick up with war, western, and crime next time. Just rewatched Villainous with my youngest daughter. First time watch for her. She loves it. Oh, yeah, that's a kick-ass movie. That's a kick-ass movie. Great action. The South Koreans know what they're doing. more so than the Americans for the most part. Comic book. So here we have any movies based on comic books. I should have it separated by superhero and non-superhero, but I don't right now. I could always change that, so no big deal. Two Guns I haven't seen. Amazing Spider-Man. I really like this movie in retrospect. I'm not a big fan of the new Marvel Cinematic Universe ones. I am friends with the person who helped get it out here. Oh, wow, really? That's awesome. I should restart this stream since I was so late showing up. Yeah, no, it's all good, Perry. Thanks for stopping in. Guys, I'm going to remind you again, sorry if I'm getting annoying, but hey, the thumbs up do help, and every time I mention it, I see the thumbs up go up. So if you guys are enjoying this live stream, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to this channel, there's going to be plenty more where this came from, so go ahead and hit that subscribe. I have seen a jump in my subscribers the last couple days, so I thank you guys for that. I'm going to try not to let anybody down. 19 or 20, I started collecting comics and graphic novels. Very nice. Yeah, I don't have many of those because I can only have so many collections, you know. Ant-Man, it's okay. I wish we saw Edgar Wright's version. Ant-Man vs. the Wasp, I'm keeping this around because it's from my dad's collection, so there you go. Let's see. Doesn't apply to Bong's films. I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Sorry there. Remind me. I'll try to keep an eye. We've got Aquaman. I think this is a pretty fun DC Universe film. Marvel Avengers, still a really solid Marvel film. Not my favorite, but it's up there. Age of Ultron, it is what it is. I'm a completionist, so I have most of these movies, except for the ones that were made in the last 5 years, because I really don't want those. Infinity War, a good film, fun film. Endgame, fun film, pretty good. Barbed Wire, now this is more my speed. Pamela Anderson action movie based on an obscure graphic novel. That's more my type of thing. Batman the movie, I love this Batman movie. I think it's fantastic. It's so funny. I love all of these, except obviously, especially the first two Tim Burton films. But I think the Schumacher films are underrated and underappreciated. And thank you for the thumbs up. Whoever did that, I appreciate it. And the Batman Forever and Batman and Robin kind of take Tim Burton and add the 60s Batman style, and Schumacher carves out his own little Batman universe, and I think it's pretty damn cool. I know a lot of people hate them. I think a lot of people don't know how to have fun. That's just my opinion. Superhero cartoon was the Powerpuff Girls. Hell yeah. Whatever happened to that live-action remake? Hopefully that died. Batman Begins. Obviously, I have the Christopher Nolan set up there, which has Dark Knight, my favorite of the three, as well as Dark Knight Rises. I like all three films, but the first and second film are both near masterpieces, in my opinion. Batman vs. Superman. This is the incredibly long, like 3.5-hour version, 3-hour version, Ultimate Edition. It's not very good. What can I say? Black Panther. I think this has a great story. A great character arcs for some of the characters, including the villain. I don't think the action was shot competently at all by Ryan Coogler. Batman and Robin is my favorite. Hell yeah. It's the one I watched the most as a child and had the most figured from. Yeah, no, I agree. I think they're all fun movies. Blade 1, 2, and 3, all fun movies. The third one obviously takes a hit, but hey. Blade is my favorite. Blade 2 is my second favorite. I think this is a pretty good one. It's a little overrated, but I think I have a newfound appreciation for this film. I've always liked it, but I kind of love it now. I think it's great. I don't think Marvel would ever dare to make a movie like this that has like the American flag on it and is kind of critical about America, but also kind of weighs the pros and cons like any, reasonable film does. And I think it really balances those things well. And then Winter Soldier is my favorite. Yes, I do. Lego Batman right there. It's my animated series there. Captain America the Winter Soldier is my favorite Marvel film of all time. It's also one of my favorite action films of the last 20 years. It is phenomenal. It's like a political thriller, James Bond kind of movie, and it focuses on 3 characters. God forbid, as opposed to these movies, which juggle how many? It's insane. Yeah, that's my comics animated. Give you a little. And I have the DC box set up there, which has like 40 films or something crazy. We have The Crow here, Alex Proyas, when he was still making great genre flicks. But like I explained earlier, genre flicks have been subsumed by the MCU. and by cinematic or universes and superhero movies. Daredevil, I still think this is a very, very good and atmospheric superhero film that carved out its own little vibe, and it has a character to it. I always am reminded of Rain and how Daredevil uses the rain to navigate. I just think it's very cool. I love the casting of Michael Clark Duncan as the Kingpin. I even like Colin Farrell's Bullseye. And I think Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner are pretty damn good in the movie for what it is. Deadpool, I think Deadpool's pretty good. Deadpool 2 is pretty good too, even funnier, I think. Deadpool versus Wolverine, I think, is a disgrace to cinema, and I'll talk about it one day. I think that whole movie's a big marketing scheme to make fun of the idea that one big studio bought out another studio. Ha ha ha, look at us, we're so funny. And all those movies you wanted to see, we're going to kill off all those characters so that you never see them. Stop whining. We're rich. Enjoy the movie and shut up. That's what I think Deadpool versus Wolverine was. Dick Tracy. A lot of people like it. I think Deadpool Wolverine has good action and whatnot, but I think it's a lifeless, soulless movie made to pat giant studios on the back and say, good for you for subsuming other smaller studios. Congratulations. You're great. Dick Tracy movie. I love the Dick Tracy movie from the 90s. It's super unique, super fun. We've got Doctor Strange. We've got Dread. We've got 10% in battery. Thank God we're coming to the end here. Dread is a kick-ass, die-hard-inspired action flick. One of the best superhero movies ever. Anti-hero movies ever. Fantastic Four. These are kind of proto-MCU movies. I enjoy them for what they are. Ghost Rider 1 and 2. Again, I enjoy them for what they are. I'm a kind of a nostalgic now for these non-MCU Marvel movies. Green Lantern, I need to rewatch. I'm a fan of Martin Campbell, but everybody shits on this movie. I remember thinking it was okay. Kind of forgettable. Oh, shit. Sorry. No, I didn't see it. No, the last message I have from you, says, did you miss my message above the last? I sent the same message 2 more times. Did it not show? No, it didn't show. Weird. I still need Galaxy 3. No, I totally understand, Jelly Good. I love Guardians of the Galaxy 1. 2 is pretty good. 3 I love too. Hellboy 1 and 2, feel-good movies for me. Hellboy 2 is an incredible little action movie. Hellboy, I like this David Harbour version. I hear there's a new version with a new guy. It's like, holy shit. I actually didn't hate this. I thought it was a decent, big-budget B-movie. Incredible Hulk, I like Incredible Hulk quite a bit. This is still one of my favorite Marvel Universe movies. This movie is critical of the military-industrial complex in America here, which, of course, Eisenhower warned us about. And this movie does a good job kind of parsing it, and I don't agree with everything this movie is trying to say, but it says some things really well, and takes risks that I doubt Marvel would take today. You know, it tells a thought-provoking story. I have a digital screen copy of the director's cut that I could send to you. If you're interested, you know where to talk to me. Sounds good. Yeah, no, I'll hit you up. Was it Twitter that we were talking? Yeah, the animated Hellboy movies are good. Iron Man 2 is okay. Pales in comparison to the first. Iron Man 3 is okay. Pales in comparison to the first. Jonah Hex is okay. Pales in comparison to the first. No, this movie's actually ass. Judge Dredd, ass, but in the best way possible. I am law! Justice League, it is what it is. It's okay. Cannot mention the website. Got you. Okay, sorry. Logan. Oh, really? Interesting. Yeah, well. Yeah, whatever. Logan, one of my favorite superhero movies. Definitely one of the best. This has the black and white cut, the noir cut, which I still need to see. Love Logan. Hard-hitting. Thought-provoking. Takes some damn risks for once. Man of Steel, I like. V for Vendetta, I love. It's classic. Blue Beetle, I thought was one of the better superhero movies of the last 10 years. Logan is fantastic, isn't it? Yeah. X-Men Arcade from the 90s. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Played that in the arcades. Ang Lee's Hulk, it's all right. It's not bad. Kick-Ass 1 and 2, it's a little slow, but hey. Still haven't seen Kick-Ass 2. Kick-Ass 1 is a classic. Favorite superhero films, Winter Soldier, Iron Man. Hellboy 2, first Superman, Spidey 2, Shazam. I love Shazam. I know not many people do, but I do. Love the Phantom. Oh, The Shadow. It's one of my favorites. Punisher movies are good. The first one's better than the second one. Red, one of the last good Willis performances there. Rocketeer, I absolutely adore. These 90s pre-MCU movies. Scott Pilgrim, good movie I haven't seen in a long time. I love The Shadow. Put out here by Shout. The Shadow is like Batman, kind of. Batman borrows a lot of ideas from the original Shadow comic. Shazam actor just disappeared. Yeah, Zachary Levi. Well, I think he had some opinions that were unsavory to Hollywood, without going into it. But mine is Blade. Oh yeah, Blade's awesome. Blade's one of my favorites. Are you going to take a break to do live streams for this week or tomorrow? I probably will do a live stream tomorrow. We'll see how I feel. Sin City 1 and 2. Spawn. Hampered by pretty awful CG. But I like this movie, and it's really the only Michael Jai White film where he had a chance to be a leading man in a mainstream movie. This trilogy, I think, is mediocre. I think they're all kind of like 3s out of 5s. I think they're okay. I think Wolverine is sorely underrated. If you guys haven't seen the Unleashed Extended Edition, I do highly recommend it. It adds a lot of texture and detail and fleshes out the story. This is a supremely underrated Wolverine movie, in my opinion. I'm a huge fan of the character. And yes, it's unrated, so it has more violence, feels like a more complete Wolverine movie, and feels closer to what Mangold wanted to do in Logan. So, and finally got the okay to do in Logan. Into the Spider-Verse, I think this is a good movie. I think it's pretty overrated. These movies are way too chaotic and way too superfluously multi-layered. Just speak out on real issues. Well, here's the thing. Actors have always spoken out on political issues. Usually, no matter what side they land on, it's pretty unpopular because people generally think that they should shut their mouths and make movies. I can understand that perspective, but I also am a believer in the freedom of speech, so a staunch believer in that. And so, of course, they should be able to speak their minds. And I have seen one side definitely put down more than the other, without getting into it. And I think they have the right to speak out. And I think some feel compelled to, like Zachary Levi did. And they get totally dogpiled and attacked just for their opinions on things, and I think that's unfair. But then there's people like Robert De Niro, who I just think is such an idiot. Red Scare period in the 50s. No, absolutely. Listen, we're not very different than we were in the 50s. We just apply censorship elsewhere. This is how censorship works. It's always... it's always kind of like, I always say, to be a believer in the freedom of speech, you have to tolerate ideas that you hate, so that those ideas are out in the open, so that we could talk about them and talk about how bad they are. I'm a strong believer in if you don't let certain people talk, those ideas fester, and I believe bad ideas die in the sunlight, not in the darkness. I believe they get worse when they're in the dark, and that's what censorship could lead to. That's just my opinion. That's more political than I ever really like to get here. You talking to me? Yeah. Robert De Niro has lost a lot of respect from a lot of people. Even people that agree with his sentiments, he says it in such a buffoonish way. God, he's an idiot. Like, he just seems like an idiot. He doesn't say anything compelling. There's a lot to say that could be compelling, but he doesn't say any of it. Tank Girl. This is a really cool little comic book movie here, directed by Rachel Talalay, who directed, I believe, one of the old Nightmare on Elm Street movies. This is a bonkers little comic book film from the 90s. Very feminist. This was like third wave feminism, the movie. Didn't mean to get political, just curious since you talked about death of the author the other day. Death of what author? Which author? Sorry. We have the Thor movies here, which I think are okay. We have the Turtles movies here, which I'm not sure why I have in the collection. I'm just a completionist, I guess, for Turtles movies. Wanted, I think, is okay. Watchmen is phenomenal. I love this movie, especially the director's cut. I think this is one of Zack Snyder's best. Yeah, separating the art from the artist. Yes, I think it's integral. Because like I said, if we didn't do that, then we would have no art to enjoy. You think Jimi Hendrix was a saint? You think Robert Plant was a saint? They weren't. Newsflash, they weren't. But they were brilliant artists, and I think it's integral and incumbent upon us to separate the art from the artist. Yes, the idea takes on a life of its own. That's not to say that that piece of art doesn't come from the artist and isn't a piece of the artist. It certainly is a piece of the artist. I think you could watch Jeepers Creepers and see that Victor Salva is exorcising some of his demons. I think it's pretty clear to see that. And who knows? Maybe the guy repented. Maybe he knows what he did was wrong. Maybe he got help. I don't know anything about these people's lives, and I frankly don't care at this point. All these people's lives are out there for us to see. I think it's incumbent upon us to separate the art from the artist. Be critical of the art. Be critical of the artist. That's fine, but let's not conflate the two. They are connected, but they are, like you said, ideas take on lives of their own. Wonder Woman, I think, is a pretty damn solid DC Universe movie, or at least I felt so at the time. Here we have Wonder Woman 1984, which I hear was studio fucked to oblivion. Patty Jenkins did not have full reign over this movie, and that's a problem that plagues this era of cinema. Like Ant-Man Edgar Wright was yanked. What else? Solo. The Philip Lord and Miller were yanked from that because, in my opinion, they were too creative. The studios thought they were too creative to deviate from what the studio wanted to see. These movies aren't made with creativity in mind. They're made by business executives with money in mind. I've always said that cinema is has always been a balance of money and business. And right now, the business side has completely outweighed the creative side. So business is more important. Like I said earlier about Netflix, the Netflix model, is it doesn't matter. We're still going to get our money. It doesn't matter if people like the movie, don't like the movie, does well, doesn't do well. Doesn't matter. It's not going to the theaters. There's no way it could bomb. We're still getting people's money for Netflix. That's not a good road to go down. Do I have a degree in philosophy or something, or how did you become so affluent in all this? Thank you. That's a very nice compliment. I read books every day, all the time. And I've been interested in philosophy for a long time. And I have conversations with people all over the spectrum of beliefs all the time. And I enjoy I enjoy discourse, and I enjoy getting other people's opinions so that I can hopefully learn from them. I'm very interested in philosophy, though. Here we have X-Men and the Wolverine collection. This is an awesome collection, actually, that has everything from X-Men 1... to X-Men 2, 3, Wolverine, First Class, and the Wolverine, which doesn't have the unedited cut or the uncut cut there. But I enjoy all these movies. I think Wolverine's okay, Also cool to see you're an open-minded person. Absolutely. I have my beliefs, which, piss some people off, of course. But I think for myself, I try to. I really do. And ideas... There aren't many ideas out there that will offend me. It's the actions that people take that offend me. I think we need to separate the ideas from the people. My ideas are always changing, and that's, I think, healthy. A 4K here of X-Men Days of Future Past. Days of Future Past. Yeah, this is one of the best X-Men movies directed by Bryan Singer. Bryan Singer, Brett Ratner. Yeah. We've got X-Men Days of Future Past. The Rogue cut. This is an interesting little alternative cut that is not included on this, so I don't think it is, at least. No, it's not. So I have both for that reason. And last, and maybe least, in the comic book section, is X-Men Apocalypse. Now, to be honest, I don't hate this film. I still think it's entertaining. It's okay. It's got the biggest death toll of any comic book movie I've ever seen. Apocalypse just wipes out populations like it's nothing. I like the little X there in place of the Blu-ray logo. I think that's cool. Not a great movie. But the last X-Men movie was even worse. All right, guys. Well, good Lord. All right, I said I wasn't going to do a 3-hour live stream, but here we are at the end of 3 hours. and done another 3-hour live stream. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope my philosophical and slightly political rants didn't turn you off too much. But hey, it's just how I feel, and I enjoy expressing my opinion, especially when people are interested in it. And that's what I do in my regular life, so why would I be any different on the internet? All right, so that's going to do it, guys. We got from the top down to war. We're going to continue war. This is probably going to be a 4 or 5 part series, but I'm kind of doing a couple concurrent series at once. Bye, Jolly Good Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate everybody coming back to check out these live streams. It means a lot. It's helping me with my numbers on YouTube and sort of get the wheels turning again. So thank you, I'm glad you had a good time. And all right, guys, I'm going to chill out and watch some movies. Yeah, I'll hit you up for sure. Thank you. I'm going to chill out tonight, enjoy my night off, and watch some movies, maybe play a game or two. And I will talk to you guys very soon. I'll probably do a live stream tomorrow. So I'm kind of getting addicted to it. So I'll see you guys next time. Feel free to give this a thumbs up. Share with your friends if you want to show them a crazy Blu-ray collection. And comment down below. All that good stuff. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit the notifications bell. Ding! And I will see you guys very soon. Thank you all. Peace out. Board Cyborg. Yeah.